Hello, everybody. Well, welcome to Cyberpunk, the game we play on Mondays. I hope everybody had a happy holiday and a Merry Christmas and all those sorts of things. Um, this particular group has decided to meet right after Christmas. I am tired, but the show must go on. so, um, Before I explain where everybody is and what everybody's doing at the moment, which shouldn't take too terribly long, I'm going to have everybody give themselves a nice little introduction so that you know who is talking and who represents who on the board here, token-wise. Starting at the top to the bottom, let's go ahead and begin with Heresy.
I am Heresy, and I play the solo Dragon Pillar. And I blew up an exec's child on the first session, so let's go.
Took his hand too.
Big boy. Homie.
Hey, I'm home and I play Don Bruce, the corpo who's not exactly a corpo.
Corpo's in disguise.
Motherfucker, get out of my head.
Santana.
I'm playing Officer Santos, the lawman.
Most handsome officer on the force.
The prettiest officer on the force.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thorium.
Hello, everybody. I am Novapop, the Netrunner.
The nerdiest looking guy in the group, for sure.
God, the intro compared to Rockets is just jarring.
Right? And Young.
Hey, I play K9, the Nomad, and I'm not the most stable person there is.
So, long story short, our Solo and Nomad got themselves mixed up in some pretty rough stuff. They were assaulted by a thrill seeker out in the wastes. Solo blew him up, as well as his friends. Turned out that this particular thrill seeker is the son of a executive over at Mitsubishi, which has gotten them in a whole heap and heck of a lot of trouble. When they were being chased by the police, Officer Santos was amongst the first people responding, and this caused a bit of a citywide sort of spectacle as they were chased throughout the city, through the dead body out in the midst of the streets. The body was recovered, and the Night City Police Department was trying to come up with a way to deal with this that would give them the best potential PR. During all of this, Novapop had been conscripted by the Voodoo Boys of the combat zone to look into something for them. Essentially, that there was some sort of strange software that was being introduced into a lot of the new tech that was being introduced to the various different corpo centers. And, of course, getting into one of these centers and getting into their tech is not something that he can do necessarily alone without potentially causing a whole heck of a lot of problems. And so he required a lot of specialists in order to help him get this done. In the process, there is also Don Bruce, who is in the midst of trying to find some dirt on the corporations that he has particular problems with. Oh, goodness. My brain is fried right now, Don. Which company do you work for again?
Rockland Augmentics.
Rockland Augmentics is responsible, as we have learned, for having ruined Don's life in the form of having gotten his wife addicted to cosmetic surgeries, to the point where she ended up losing her mind and attacking him, and ending up having to be killed in self-defense, which Don puts the blame squarely on the corporations that put her on that particular path. And so, even though he is currently working for them, he is attempting to find some way to topple them at the same time. And so, trying to find out some skeevy stuff that the businesses are up to is one method in which he would like to explore. through Novapop's negotiations and dealings with a local fixer by the name of Julian, he has managed to organize all of the various players involved here to gather at his small, I guess, what is it? It's like a cargo container apartment. The equivalent of bit of basically a Night City trailer, and he's gathered them all together in order to see what it is this particular crew can do, and if they can potentially pull off the mission that he has in mind. So everybody is currently gathered in Novapop's cargo container, and thankfully, Dragon Pillar and K9 are not immediately identifiable as a result of the fact that Dragon Pillar was the only one that was seen, but he was also in his full get-up at the time when Santos was chasing them. So he does not currently have that on, and is in his more or less civilian wear, as it were. So we open up with all of you currently trying to make yourselves comfortable as best you can in this very confined space. As Novapop has explained, and he has brought all of you together because he has a particular job in mind that all of you could potentially profit from. So we will open up with Novapop. Why don't you go ahead and set the scene for me here?
Right now, everybody is pretty much sitting around on makeshift crates and all sorts of makeshift chairs in his cargo container home that is generally not set up for guests. On the one narrow side of the container opposite the door, see a wall that's entirely lined by computer monitors, in front of which sits Novapop. All right, folks. So here's the deal. There is some very strange and very suspicious programming that has been showing up on various terminals in various corporations. The reason we know about this is the Voodoo Boys, through their hackery, have encountered some of these things. That's why they know it's there. What isn't known is what the purpose is and who it benefits. The working theory we have so far is that someone, or a number of someones, has managed to plant something that's infiltrated all the corporations, meaning if they make a power play, they may be able to gain control over a whole lot of corporate data, or maybe even destroy a whole bunch of it, possibly even damaging the infrastructure of Night City itself. Our job is to figure out what's going on and stop the worst of it.
So, what's the starting point for this operation?
Well, that's what we need to work out together. Here's what I suggest. We're new as a team. Very new. We have not worked together yet. Making a run at a highly secure system would be very difficult for us. I say we go after a much softer target that can still yield some results for our investigation. There's a number of options. What I would be looking for is basic, official use only, mass amounts of data concerning things like invoices, shipping, vendors, of any of these corporations that have any of these machines. That gives me a baseline to analyze where these machines might have gotten compromised. Go ahead.
I was going to ask Lundy if Don would know of anything that might fit that bill the best.
I would recommend that we would not exactly shit where we eat. Let's not do it for anyone we work for or do business with regularly. So if it blows up in our face, we have some
Yeah, I
laws
meant
with
like a
deniability.
general
Yeah,
knowledge.
I understand. If people in general want to kind of like brainstorm possible places, each person in this particular meeting can go ahead and roll me, let's call it a local expert check, and see what they come up with. Okay.
Character sheet is so dense. Where
Yeah.
the fuck is it?
They
It's on
try to make it small, but in the process they end up shoving everything together. It's in the education skills.
Yeah, it's above science and below library search.
Damn.
Mm.
Fuck me.
Okay.
Oh my god. Absolutely fucking nowhere.
Okay, all right. So, in spite of the fact that K9
I'm
is
sorry.
not like necessarily a local, he does know all the sort of like general hotspots for activity that one might engage in. So, Dragon Pillar, the best that you can come up with, I mean, it would be extremely risky, but there are a bunch of sort of like gang centers that exist in the combat zone. Lots of different types of people competing for power there. You could ingratiate yourself with other gangs by essentially like fucking up one in particular that is on the sort of competitor sheet. It wouldn't be terribly hard to find somebody who'd be willing to hire you guys to essentially do something to screw with their competition. That's probably the default that your mind would probably go to. It's the usual sort of it's an easy job to get, usually a difficult job to pull off. You're probably going to end up going up against a lot of armed guards of various sorts, usually fairly untrained, but also fairly unstable, undisciplined, and with far more gun power than they have brain power. And that sort of stuff can be extremely risky for non-combatants. So while that might be a good testing ground for you, you're not entirely certain whether or not this net runner here can handle that sort of a situation, nor potentially the suit. Both of them probably are not themselves prime combatants, at least from what you can observe. Then again, that might also serve the purpose of trying to figure out what their roles in future jobs would end up being if it's not going to be combat based. But K9, you are aware that there are a number of different types of jobs that can be done around Night City, just in general. Be it Watson's, the city center, Haywood, Santo Domingo. All of these different places tend to have a lot of different potential jobs to find. You just got to know where to look and who to ask. Now, while you don't have any particular contacts that you can get in contact with that can get you these particular jobs, you're aware of various sort of like watering holes that you can frequent to get in contact with people who might need something done. Local fixers who are locally known or even known across the city, who need a group of people to handle various different types of jobs. And this can be just about anywhere you want. In regards to the sort of difficulty of the jobs, depending on where it is that you put it, the city center is probably going to be amongst the most difficult, because generally speaking, the people here are what you would refer to as the corporate elite. If somebody needs a job done here, it's either going to be against one of the other corporate structures, or it's going to be against one of their subsidiaries elsewhere in the city, which often leads to sort of a pseudo corporate warfare situation, which can be a very dangerous thing, more dangerous than even engaging with gangs, but also highly profitable. technically speaking, you could also probably head to Watson. There are a lot of Watson is filled with immigrants of all various different sorts who have made their way to Night City over time, and they've got a lot of sort of street problems that could be taken care of by any one group. That being said, what you have on you might be overkill. You're not sure. It would depend on what sort of jobs are available there. Westbrook is where all the sort of like more touristy types of people are, in like amidst the mountains here, like in between themselves and the sort of like wastelands that you're used to. There's a nice sort of like mountainous barrier between the wastes and Westbrook that allows the wealthy elite to more or less have a relaxing location for themselves. So if you do anything there, likely it's going to be either some sort of corporate exec or a celebrity of some sort, or just somebody who has a shit ton of money to spend. So there can be a lot of profit to be made if you can find somebody in Westbrook who needs something done. But also, generally speaking, this can lead to jobs that are either incredibly dangerous or incredibly tedious, depending what it is that you find. Also, whoever you work for, there's a 90% chance that they might be connected to a corporation. And if they are, well, I know how you feel about them. Outside of that, you could potentially head back to the nomads and see if there's something that they need taken care of, a caravan that needs watched over or guarded or anything along those lines. There's loads of sort of road pirates, bandits, and the like that exist out there that will more or less hit anybody who travels alone on the roads in the Badlands. But also, that would entail bringing all of these people, not just Dragon, back to your people, and up to you kind of how you feel about doing something along those lines. Haywood is located beneath the city center. It's where a lot of the sort of Latino population usually is. There's like there's a few underlying gang problems that exist in the area. You can probably like help the NCPD maybe take out some problematic gang aspects there, push them back towards the combat zone where they're supposed to be. That could be a possibility. A lot of the people in Haywood tend to be a little bit more working class. They just kind of like go from Haywood up to the city center to work, generally speaking. And that'll be sort of like your mid-tier kind of jobs. Obviously, there's the combat zone in Pacifica. That's I've already explained that in terms of how Dragon Pillar appreciates that. And then there's Santo Domingo, which is home to one of the most legendary bars in the entirety of Night City. Not because it is particularly what one would call a successful bar, or like a place where there's like loads of incredible entertainment or anything along those lines, but it was a bar that was once played by Johnny Silverhand back in the day. A legendary sort of rebel type who got his start there. And generally speaking, if there is something that needs done down there, one of the older folks frequenting the bar might be able to point you in the right direction. So you have a lot of options available to you, and you're aware of all of them, K9.
I already know this. Why are you telling me?
Word for days.
Okay. Listen here, I think I know some places to go for easy jobs. But before we start, I have one question.
What is it?
Look over to Dragon, draw my pistol. What the fuck are you doing here?
Wait, to dragon?
You get a
Yeah.
dead scare. You brought me here, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I brought someone here. Oh man, I should have known it was you. But I hoped you died somewhere out there.
And what the hell are you talking about?
Are you suffering
This
from
dude scammed me.
cyberpsychosis?
No, this dude scammed me. He scammed me now and he scammed me a while ago.
Are you confused because he doesn't have his cape on?
What are you talking about? Don will be
No,
reaching
I'm
for his side.
clear. Tell them. Tell them who you are.
Whatever you're on about, K9, I don't remember it.
You don't remember it, yeah?
Don will stand up. Look, whatever's going on between you two, you could settle at a better date. Because right now, if you work together, you can make it rich. I think that'll more than make up for any scams.
Give me one reason not to blow his face off.
Because he can help you make a lot of money.
He took everything from me.
You're a nomad, right?
Yeah.
You're telling me this man took your family?
A close part of it. This man killed my car. He blew my bloodhound. He blew it off.
Are you going to kill a man over a car when he can make you money to buy multiple cars?
A nomad's car is not like an object. It has a soul. It's his best friend.
I understand that. This is a new point in your life, though. Good to see it as taking a new step with a new ride.
Yeah, but without him.
I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. I have a secret compartment in my leg with a handgun in it, and if I see you so much as squeeze a trigger by an inch, or if I don't see your finger off it, I'll be the one drawing on you next. Everyone here is going to get a fair cut, and I prefer to not have any more loose ends than we need. I can respect
We can't trust
nomads.
him.
I can respect you, nomads. I admire the family values you have. But at this point, it's just pity revenge.
Yeah, but we can't trust him.
I don't know, you didn't seem to have any trouble trusting about that chase.
I mean, I
Meanwhile-
didn't know.
Meanwhile, while this whole conversation is going on, Dragon Pillar is just having like PTSD, like flashbacks of the battle zones that he's been in.
Well, for a guy that supposedly wronged you so much, he was willing to come here with you and, you know, have your back with looking into what you thought was the body with the autopsy. I mean, it seems
I
like a
see it
good
as-
ride or die fella to me. Seems like like a straight shooter.
Hey, don't get me wrong. He's the most competent person I ever known, but he's a dick.
That much I can vouch for.
I'm really starting to see the wisdom of a softer job before we make our big run now. I'm very much convinced about why this is needed. Okay, folks, so K9, it sounds like you have the most insight into potential stuff. What would you like to do?
Don's still keeping a hand more close to his hip, just in case.
Okay, listen. I'm going to put the gun down. We talk about this. We do your little simple gig, and then we see if it works. But if he pulls something off, I shoot him. I mean it.
You're threatening us with his life. In Night City, they'd get a good laugh out of anybody here.
Well, I just make clear what my terms are.
It sounds like something between you and him, and he doesn't look all that broken up by any of this. So that's fine by me.
Good.
All right.
So I would suggest if it should be something, if it should be something simple, we go to Haywood or Watson. Simple folk there. Simple problems.
Is it Watson Maelstrom turf?
It's kind of redundant to ask if any one particular area is gang turf.
That's true.
Okay. Now I'm going to get on the computer here, and I'm going to look for stuff in Haywood that might have some correlation with some company, some correlation with the devices that we were looking into. The computer terminals and all that. Either, like I said, supplier, vendor, shipper, anything like that. Start with Haywood. And then move on to Jablomi. Like me to roll anything?
I mean, this is just kind of like negotiations between the crew here, so.
Okay, well, I mean, he mentioned Haywood, so I'm like, now I'm looking for the job. Like, what might be a lead for a job?
Finding something that's like listed.
Maybe not listed for a job, but maybe just like a little bit advanced intel, so we're not going completely blind if we have to go and talk to somebody there. And also something that we can tie into our larger objective, if possible.
I would it rather be something that doesn't compromise my morals.
How the hell did you become a cop without compromising your morals? Dawn will look at him with a raised eyebrow.
Well, you can see the results.
Honestly, helping out the cops might not be a terrible idea either. You know, you're kind of up shit's creek with them, and we can certainly probably use a bit of a break.
Yeah, it can help me rebuild my reputation.
Nothing's gonna do that if you keep starring in YouTube videos.
Give me a library search, and go ahead and add, on top of that, we'll call it a +4 for your cyber deck.
Under mods, should I put 4? Is that how that works?
Yes.
Okay.
Still
Okay.
better than starring in only Borgs.
Okay. So a couple things catch your eye, Nova. Number one, it appears that there has been a report of a potential cyber psycho sighting in Haywood. At the very least, that is what is being kind of put out by various different rumor mills at the moment. There was a little bit of a scuffle that happened near one of the sort of dock cafes, and apparently a decent amount of people ended up dying as a result of the scuffle, and it does not appear to be gang activity, and so people are kind of coming to the conclusion that it might be somebody who's kind of like lost it. So that would be something that might be relevant towards making the police happy. But outside of that, there has also been there is kind of a bit of a desperate, though anonymous plea that has been made on the sort of local forums in the more what you would call let's call it the shadow sites that exist on the net, wherein somebody is saying that they are located in Haywood right now and they are in desperate need of getting some very hot merchandise off of their hands, and they need somebody to deliver it because they cannot show their face.
Okay. I present those options. What do we think, folks?
Cyber Psycho looked simple enough.
I agree. If anything, I want that one to take priority if we take multiple.
Yeah,
It
sure.
seems to be the most time sensitive, and given the fact that we have at least two people here are really good with firepower, seems like a good start. So, Cyber Psycho it is, right?
Okay. The information that you were able to find as far as this particular psycho is concerned is that there is a boat which serves as a bit of a cafe on the docks, and some sort of slaughter happened there. That is the last that anybody's been able to detail as far as the story is concerned. So it would be probably the best place to get started.
So,
All right.
Officer Santos, I know that you were on the Arroyo beat. Any chance that you can find a reason to be in Haywood today? It's nearby.
Well, let's say after the incident on, well, the police chase, I have been moved downwards in my position.
You think they're going to push you down further after the rap guy incident?
Sorry?
You think they're going to push you down further after that incident this morning?
If we get something good? I don't think so.
Oh, it was charming in its own way. Who knows? Maybe they'll even like you more for that. At least the cops will.
Don't think so. Me being there was more of a publicity stunt than anything else.
Well, there's a chance they won't send you back, considering how well it went.
We should get moving. The longer we wait, the more we risk Mac Tech getting involved, or Max Tech.
Well,
Yes. Fortunately, tracking criminals is part of my job description, so let's actually do what I'm supposed to.
Okay, how about we just say if you are asked by your superiors that you got an anonymous tip through your social media profile about this Cyber Psycho incident, and that you're going to go check it out if they care to ask. Fair enough?
Great. Fair enough.
All right, let's head down there. K9, I assume you'll want to drive?
Yeah, sure. You've got another car?
We got the one I came in, but I have a dedicated driver on that one. And I got a feeling using company property wouldn't end well for me.
So anyone who wants, just squeeze in my back and let's go.
All right.
Don will just be happy he didn't wear a suit today, just adjust his glasses before following.
Okay. All of you make your way outside of the cargo container that Nova Pop stays in and has gathered you all in. There are a couple of vehicles outside, the first being the one that Don has arrived in. It is currently still running as a man sits inside listening to what appears to be some sort of like very calm classical music, staring at basically nothing as he seems to await all of you. And then the other vehicle, of course, being K9's, parked not too terribly far behind him.
Can we all even fit inside his car?
Only, yeah, if you squeeze a bit.
Alright, well, I'm calling shotgun. He says, well, just go in and immediately take the passenger's front seat.
I get in the driver's seat.
No problem probably finding that in like that middle of the back seat. It's just easy enough to squeeze in there. It's a thinner, a smaller fella. Plus, it also gives him a nice view of the view out the road while he pulls out his agent. He starts doing some work there.
You know, Don will pull out his agent and inform Ryder about what he's going to do. Just keep him in the loop and keep him ready.
So
Santos is gonna just start preparing his guns.
Don, are you updating Ryder as to the situation at all?
Yeah, I'm telling him to let him know. And I'm also going to check and see if anything important's happened at the office that anyone's tried to contact me about.
Is there any place that you would like me to rendezvous with you, sir?
Just keep your wheels spinning close to Haywood if you can.
Very good. Will do.
Thanks, Ryder. Keep up the good work. I'll say before.
You see that he kind of scans the rest of your group for a moment. And at some point, as he's kind of scanning your group, you can kind of notice that his hands begin to kind of like white knuckle the steering wheel on his car before he kind of like rolls his neck a bit and then begins to drive off.
Jeez, I need to thank Julian for setting me up with him.
So, you guys will be piling into K9's vehicle, which is, I don't think meant for 5 people.
No.
So it'll be a very cramped ride, I think.
Well, the 3 of them are skinny. Like, as long as me and K9 are in the front, we should be fine.
So long as I call shotgun, we'll be fine.
Yeah, that's the important part.
So all of you get piled into K9's vehicle and make your way over to Haywood. K9, you're able to more or less file via Novapop's direction from what he's been able to gather. You're able to get you guys down to the docks in Haywood, and it does not take you long to find the commotion, so to speak. Now, there are a few NCPD officers already here on the scene. They have more or less cordoned off the area. Looking a little bit behind them, it's not too terribly hard to see what's going on, as you see what appears to be some sort of yacht, which had been refitted, essentially, to be its own little cafe. And it is covered in dead bodies and blood. Just absolutely covered. Can't get much more information than that without getting closer, but that's the situation as it stands. There are a few NCPD officers who are kind of keeping everybody away and in the midst of talking about what it is they're going to be doing about this.
Santos, want to talk to your boys and see if we can get a closer look?
Yeah, I'll get there. And I'm gonna walk away from like the big concentrations of people. Reach basically one of the corners. If there's any cameras, they don't notice me.
Don will be keeping an eye out as well. Not just on cameras, but more so just in the general public.
Santos, go ahead and make me... You're approaching them to have a quick conversation about what's going on. What's your goal with this conversation?
My goal with this conversation is, first of all, get the information, get everything they have gotten, and second of all, see if I can get access to the area.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and call it a conversation check, and you can go ahead and add your role rank on top of that as well, since you're talking to fellow cops, so you can add a 4 to your conversation check.
Okay. For my conversation, check. Conversation. Okay, there you go. Conversation that's +4, right?
Yes.
What? Skill value mods 4. Cool.
Very nice. When you
Alright.
approach the police officers who have set up the perimeter kind of nod to you on your approach, and one of them looks to you for a moment and says, Detective Santos, right?
Yes.
We were waiting on a
Officer.
detective.
Yes.
Current situation as it is, we haven't had a whole lot of time to really secure everything, but we have kind of gotten all the civilians out of the area. There are 12 dead bodies on the yacht. We're not entirely certain who all was involved in the fighting as of yet. We haven't really had time to check all of them, but we have done a bit of a head count, as it were. It's looking real gruesome over there. We have no idea where the perpetrator ended up going after this. If that's something that you can handle, then we'll go ahead and leave that to you.
Great. Do we have an idea of if the person who killed them, he just went in, made the massacre, all that, or was like with them, accompanying them, and then just exploded?
Witness report said that a fella ended up coming onto the yacht and ordering a large batch of shrimp. And after having eaten at least a couple of bowls, he ordered another batch. At which point, one of the waiters asked him if he was okay, because it was a very non-standard order, and the fella seemed to be, at least to witness accounts, a little bit unstable. At which point, the fella said that he wanted more shrimp, or else he was going to begin to get violent with everybody there. The waiter then ended up calling security. Security asked him to leave, and that is when the fighting started. A lot of innocent bystanders got caught in the scuffle, and it appeared that the perpetrator was armed with a variety of high-tech weaponry, all of which attached to him, including what appeared to be 2 cyber arms, a heavy SMG, a heavy pistol, what appeared to be a grenade launcher, and apparently wolver claws as well. He had cyber legs and appeared to have, a lot of gear on him.
Yeah, he was heavily strapped. He wouldn't have probably gone what I can only describe as cyber psycho if he wasn't. Do we have any kind of physical description?
Witnesses said that the fella seemed to be dressed up in old military garb, same sort of stuff as the NUSA military, maybe an ex-commando of some sort.
Great. So, a commando with a lot of armory in the city got in here. Probably not an EBT, but if he was, it would have been. It will be easier to find him. Ordered a lot of shrimp, had an emotional breakdown, and then killed everybody in.
There were some people who were able to get away. That's how we got some witness accounts. But yeah, it's pretty bloody over there.
I'll go check out, and I kind of walked into the crime scene.
Okay. Are you going to do anything to try and get anybody else there from the group?
I have a person who is particularly, well, 2 people who are good at tracking this kind of events. I don't know if I can bring them in, some sort of civilian consultant with them.
If you've got civilian consultants, that's fine. We can allow up to 1 or 2, I would say.
Great. And I am going to see if I can bring Don and Canine.
Dawn and Canine, okay?
Nice.
So as you point out Dawn and Canine to kind of I would suppose gesture for them to come on out towards the
Yep.
perimeter.
Don will get out and approach with no hesitation.
Yeah, Canine too.
Cops kind of looked at the both of you a little bit oddly. Don, you at the very least have a bit of a clean-cut look about you. While you're not dressed up in a suit or anything, they can at least believe that you might be a consultant of some sort, an expert of something. Canine looks a little bit more off the wall and concerned at what they would normally expect, as they kind of give him a little bit more of a suspicious eye. Sir, I don't mean to question you too terribly much, but what exactly is this fella an expert on?
He has a particular kind of experience with tracking. He looks like that because he prefers to. He usually doesn't come to the city much. He does his work on the outskirts, but I found his skills to be incredibly useful.
If you say so. Kind of lift the perimeter for you guys to go on in. Anything you end up finding, do let us know. Keep us all updated.
Right.
Don will look a little horrified for a moment before continuing on after regaining his composure, as if the scene's enough to solve a few of his own PTSD memories.
Well, yeah, this is it. And he kind of looks at the pieces of rain, some shit, some blood in the wall. Pretty, a little bit off standard. There seems to be a little bit more brutal. You can only find this on cases that are personal. But we do have some sort of physical description. We know that he was military.
Ex-military.
Oh, yeah, ex-military.
It's always sad how that happens. Pump soldiers so much stuff until they're robots, and then the second they pump them with a little more to test their limits, this happens.
So your other guy had some sort of computer library that he was using before, right?
Nova? Or
I do not know his name.
is he talking about Nova, or is he mean Ryder?
I'm guessing
Yeah.
I'm guessing he means Nova, since Nova is the
Yeah,
one who's the computer tech.
no.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Santos. I haven't known him much longer than I've known you.
Well, I don't know if you could text him the details we have. I mean,
Yeah.
at least he can try narrowing down our options while we do the manual work here.
Alright. I'll use my agent to contact Nova and relay any details to him. Keep the feed up.
Okay. So Nova will be updated with all the details that the group is able to find as you guys are investigating the area. Nova, for your particular action, since you're trying to get into any sort of local security tapes to see if there's any sort of recordings of what happened, I am going to ask you to do a cryptography check. I don't know if you have any boosts to that from your gear. I don't think you do.
You want me to make a check too, or?
Well, you don't have a cyber deck to hack into these things, so
Oh, that's right.
it's not really an available option for you.
I will, on my own end, trying to do some, I don't know if criminology investigation or deduction.
As you are investigating the area, Santos, I'm going to ask for, let's call it a deduction check, as you are investigating and seeing what sort of clues you can find.
Right.
Okay. All right, we got two good rolls here. So, firstly, Novapop, as you're kind of going over local security tapes to see if there's anything that you can find, you're able to get into a decent amount of them. Now, the unfortunate thing is that the yacht itself appears to have very little in terms of any sort of security on there. That being said, from the video that you're able to get of the place, there are pings of what appear to be cyberware from some of the workers who were on the yacht. Potentially, you're not entirely certain if any of it might be capable of doing any sort of recording, but if that's something that can be gathered, that'd be a good thing to do. Outside of that, the recordings mostly show the comings and goings of the people going towards and out of the yacht for over the course of the morning. Eventually, as you're kind of like skimming through all the data and kind of fast forwarding, you eventually do find a fellow who appears to be dressed up in military fatigues. He has mirror shades on himself. He is walking with an odd sort of stiffness to him, with like a strange sort of intent. Black sort of slicked back hair as he makes his way towards the yacht. He's got a leather jacket over top of what he's wearing on his chest, and he makes his way over to the yacht. Fast forwarding a few minutes, you are able to get to the sort of like point of action where you're seeing like flashes of what appears to be gunfire on the yacht itself. You see one person being thrown off of the yacht a good solid like 60 feet. You're not sure if that was by an explosion of any sort. It didn't seem like it was accompanied by an explosion, so it might be the person himself just literally throwing somebody off of the yacht. That's a possibility. And fast forwarding a little bit to see if you can get like any sort of detail as to where he might have gone from there. You do see that at least for a moment or two, he is kind of like standing amidst the sort of bloodbath that has been created on the yacht, and he looks around for a little bit before making his way over to the kitchen area, where you eventually then find him walking out of the yacht holding what appears to be a bowl of shrimp that he is currently like shoveling into his mouth, as he makes his way back from where he came, a little bit on the outskirts of Haywood. From there, that is where your scope of an investigation kind of ends. On the boat itself, while you're investigating Santos, you're able to find a lot of you kind of like do a head count, confirm all the dead on the boat itself. Some of them are personal security that was hired by the cafe itself, and these guys do appear to have at least a little bit of cyberware in them. Not a whole heck of a lot, but one of them has a cyber arm. One of them has kind of what appears to be cyber spurs that are sort of built into them to use to kind of like threaten any sort of like ne'er-do-wells who might be making their way on to the boat itself. These appear to currently be out and also torn into pieces. That is why it's so easy to be able to detect this, whereas normally it would be retracted into the arm itself when it's not being used. So during the fight, you're able to determine that this particular security agent attempted to use the cyber spurs on the perpetrator, and then the spur got grabbed at some point and then bent and then just kind of like destroyed by the assailant. Beyond that, you are able to kind of piece together more or less the course of events via the sort of positioning of everybody. You're able to tell that at least like 3 of the dead bodies appear to have been more or less quickly taken out by heavy pistol fire. Very accurate headshots on each one of them. You then see what appears to be a lot of bullet holes that kind of got sprayed towards the bar area, where there were a few more dead bodies, and there are a lot of bullet holes in the bar area itself, likely some sort of automatic weaponry. From there, you do see what appears to be a broken guardrail on the top of the yacht. It is entirely bent towards the docks itself, so somebody was like either tossed through this metal guardrail into the docks or into the water, or the person himself may have broken it himself, either as like an afterthought in escaping, or something along those lines. You're not quite certain. So, putting things together, kind of swapping data between you and Novapop, seems clear that what happened here goes more or less along with victim reports and confirms at least some of the ware that was being used in this particular crime. So the perpetrator in question came onto the boat, and the initial time that he was on there was non-confrontational at first, and then at some point something happened, at which point the fighting then began to break off, starting with the security, who were almost immediately disabled, probably in hand-to-hand with the perpetrator, and then the rest of the sort of guests slash crew of the yacht found themselves kind of in a wildfire blaze, gunned down in various ways. So there are multiple weaponry that seems to be used. You're sure that the person in question has incredibly enhanced strength. Yeah, this is what you're able to more or less put together from the situation that you see. Beyond that, as Santos and Don and Canine are all kind of like looking at the area and just kind of looking at the bodies, can I get some perception checks? Yeah, I think that's what we would probably go with.
While they're doing that, Novapop is going to start doing an open web search of seafood restaurants in the area.
Okay. Give me a library search, Novapop. Go ahead and add a +4 to that. K9, Don, you guys are able to kind of like look through the various different bodies for a bit. And while you're looking through, can I get a real quick empathy roll from the both of you as well?
Also, Santos had to go for a bit.
Gotcha. Understood. I know he's going and picking up his gift. Okay. Don, oh boy. Don and K9, both of you are probably less bothered by all the blood than you probably normally should be. This is a scene which for most people would be would be vomit inducing pretty easily. I mean, there's dead bodies kind of strewn about. At least one person has been beheaded by some sort of sharp weaponry. The head is kind of like elsewhere on the yacht. And the both of you are taking this in a fairly passive manner. So I guess what I'm saying here is that neither one of you are taking this in a psychologically healthy fashion. So I guess the question for you two, would be, what is going through your heads as you're kind of like observing all of this blood and gore around you? Because this isn't a part of your normal jobs. And yet you're looking at this and it's causing a bit of like numbness to you. You're kind of you're not taking this in well. So what's going on?
Don keeps seeing brief flashes of blades swinging his way, as well as his arm flying across the room, and keeps seeing just the blood in his hands. Just those keep flashing on and off like a light switch.
I believe Janet finds it a bit too funny. Like, he picks up an arm. Like, hey. Hey, Don, high five.
Don literally immediately draws a heavy pistol on him and aims it at his face. I will zero you.
Yeah.
I will zero you if you don't drop that right the fuck now.
Yeah. thought so. Ha. Ha ha ha.
Donald reluctantly just raise his gun up and then just begin to walk away before holstering it, trying to get some air, running a hand through his hair. Jesus Christ.
Before we go, I'm gonna relay all we got to the police officers,
Okay.
including a little bit of things from the video. And yeah,
Also, before you go, K9 and Don were doing a perception check for me while you were gone to see if they couldn't find any sort of like any specific sort of valuable cyberware on these guys. Just a general look, not necessarily taking anything, just confirming. And it does seem that both of the security officers here do have a cyber eye on each of them. Whether or not these have recording equipment on them would be something that would have to be analyzed by somebody who understands cyber tech to some degree.
I look at Don and say, so do you want it on the hands of your guy who knows cyberware, or do you want the police officer to check them?
Split
The police
it up.
department.
Give one eye to one, give one to the other. Don looks a little shaken up right now, like he just witnessed something extraordinarily unbelievable.
Yeah, that's how we expose civilians to this kind of stuff. And I cannot give them one on one.
It's more the disrespect for the dead I'm having a problem with right now, he says while not even turning to look at K9 in the room, playing with the arms still.
Only bit with his foot.
So, trying to get one eye out for the police and one eye for your own purposes?
That's the idea.
Yes.
Okay. Do any of you have let me look. Can I get a cybertech roll from Bruce? Okay. Doing this on site would probably be a fairly difficult thing for you guys to do. You don't necessarily have the gear on you to manage this. If you had a cyber dock or a ripper dock or anything that you could probably take these guys to, that would make things a little bit easier. But as of the moment, getting them out without damaging them would be more or less impossible with how things are right now.
It seems like we'll have to give them both. We cannot take the corpse right away.
Yeah. Alright. Turn over both to the police. We'll just have to rely on you.
Great. I'm obviously not gonna drag them. I'm just gonna inform them that two of them have cyber eyes, the description of the corpse, and that the extraction could be convenient for the operation.
The officers kind of give you a nod as you report all this to them, and one of them kind of calls in over his communications to bring in a cyber specialist along with the sort of cleanup squad when they arrive to potentially retrieve any useful cyberware to the investigation. And he gives you a bit of a nod. We'll go ahead and let you know that these guys are probably going to end up getting pulled up over in the. We've got an office over in Vista Del Rey. They'll probably be taken to. So if you want to follow up on the investigation, you'll want to check out the coroner's report over at the hospital there.
Big old
Great.
hound
Good to know.
like
I'll be there.
Sorry, multiple people talked at the same time there. What's that? What happened?
Said big old hound
no,
coming off your mic.
no idea.
Yeah, it's happening again. First Santos, then no Bob, please. Santos can't hear a goddamn thing you're saying right now.
Yeah, I don't know. He might be out and about right now.
I said you have a big hum coming off your microphone, Monday.
I do.
I think that was the vape you were hearing, Chief.
No, it's a hum when he talks. It's not the vape.
No, I'm hearing it too.
You guys are?
Okay, well, I there's nothing I can do about it, so moving on.
All right. Okay, any hits in the nearby area for seafood joints, especially looking for stuff that might specialize in shrimp or have it as part of their logo, or or the restaurant name?
Library search.
Did we not do that? We did that, right? Yeah, I want to ask originally.
You did.
I
Okay.
pulled the 18.
With an 18, the docks in general are fairly well known for the seafood spots all throughout this area as well as downtown. So there are a lot of potential spots. Is there anything that you're going to be doing to try and narrow things down?
Yes, looking for things that have a shrimp as part of the logo, or advertise specials, or something, or a sign in the window. Basically, I'm looking for something that if somebody was heading down this way, somewhat randomly, and they were looking for a place that they could stuff their face full of shrimp, because that's what this guy was doing.
Let's see here. Yep, there's a seafood place in the Gold Beach Marina, not far from where you guys are, that appears to be having a special on various different types of shrimp right now, all of which served with various different types of special platters or sauces or skewers of all sorts. This appears to be a special that they're doing just for today. So this particular spot, we'll go ahead and call it. We'll call it red meat galore. And
I was gonna call it Massacre Site Number 2.
That's also something that you could potentially call it.
Nicknamed Red Paste, Shrimp Paste.
But there is what appears to be a spot that's at least for today, is specializing in shrimp product.
Okay, let me get on my agent and let them know what I found. And then say, seems this guy's having a compulsion for shrimp buffets. Not getting it to put him into a psychotic rage, so maybe he went to go finish that craving. I suggest we move quickly.
Okay.
I guess I'll just get on the agent and just call Don.
Yeah, I don't have an agent, so.
Yeah, so I'll just tell Don that.
Don will answer. All right, Nova. Thanks for telling me. Don sounds not exactly the most stable currently.
You all right, buddy?
No, I just realized the situation I found myself in and had a disembodied limb fly in front of my face.
That had you have it fly in front of your face.
Canine isn't exactly stable.
Okay, so he's a bit of a nut. Got it.
Yeah, it's a mess in there.
Okay, well, why don't you just come out on others? I don't think there's much more we can do here. I think we got all the information we need. I think we should just hit the road.
Yeah, I agree. Don says while beginning to make his way back to the car.
I follow him.
Okay.
All right, I'll give them direct. I'll give K9 directions to the what was it? Red Meat Plus or what was it?
Red meat galore.
Red Meat Galore.
Hey then.
Boy might be here. Let's head over there.
Okay.
Andy, would you like to go onto the big map to move us around since we're kind of traveling around Haywood? If you like.
Is that you mean I say dark?
Mm-hmm.
Get it to work. There we go. All right. So, as we're making your way up from Well Springs here, up to downtown. Not terribly far from the Orbital Air Space Center, down from the road that leads to there. You find this nice little place that's a little bit out of the way. There's a nice logo in the AR display as you guys approach. It's a picture of it's kind of like a 3D rendered image of what appears to be kind of an old-timey fisherman, complete with galoshes and like a fisherman's hat, just holding up like a bucket filled of all sorts of different types of fish and shrimp and the like, and just with what appears to be like almost a cartoonishly large tongue that's like just salivating over all of it as he kind of like looks into the camera as you approach this particular area. And where are you guys parking here?
Probably somewhere a bit unnoticed. Like
Okay.
quiet corner, something like that.
Off to the side, yeah.
Okay, so I don't know. Somewhere over here.
Yeah.
Okay. How are you going to approach the place?
First, Nova's going to see it now that he's in the area. He's going to try to do the same trick and see if he can get a live feed of someone of the cameras in there.
Okay. If you want to get a live feed of the cameras that are inside of the building, you're going to want to get like up to the side of the building itself and get into its actual like electric program here, or its grid, so to speak.
Take a casual walk, maybe like as if I'm like I'm standing in line or waiting or just checking out the probably the menus on the windows outside.
Acting check. Okay. So you kind of try to approach as nonchalantly as you can with somebody who has a cyber deck on their arm. And well, you begin to draw attention fairly quickly as a decent amount of the customers kind of look over in your direction. They see the cyber deck that you've got on you at the moment as you're kind of like casually like, I don't know if I want to get a full-on shrimp bowl, or do I want one of those, do I want a platter? Like, what am I looking at here as you're kind of inching your way around the place. And at least a few people are kind of like staring at you as you're doing this. Nobody's currently stopping you as of yet, but they are keeping an eye on you, it looks like.
Okay. Well, He'll just take that off, and then he'll just look around with his actual eyeballs.
Okay. The outside area is a nice, large kind of dining area that's meant for people to enjoy the sort of like outside sea air of the coast here, which is not as nice as it probably once was sometime a good long while back. The ocean is somewhat polluted these days. And as such, the sort of outside air, while still maintaining some level of the usual pungent aroma of the salty sea air of the ocean, also carries with it a bit of an off-putting, almost sewage-like smell. Most of the people here seem to be more or less used to it at this particular point. Perhaps these are dock workers themselves who just have more or less garnered an immunity to it, but it's not pleasant. And you don't see that there's anybody who's currently out here that seems to be in any way suspicious.
Yeah. Nova will head back toward the group.
You find anything?
Not really, but couldn't really get close enough to tell without drawing a lot of suspicion. And if there's somebody dangerous in there who's popping off, that's probably not the best time for me to be suspicious and weird. So, what do you figure?
I'm torn between wondering if I should give it a shot and if they have good synth fish here. I'm worried I might stand out a bit more than you, though.
I mean, we could just go in as paying customers. That's the easy one. We could all go in if we want to.
Yeah, that could work. I'm just worried our group stands out a bit.
You know, mind you, the guy has a grenade launcher.
You have one
Whatever.
too.
Doesn't matter if he just decides to go full psycho on us and chuck grenades right in the shop window without even batting an eye.
Well, Dragon, maybe you can get a look at these guys. I mean, can you use your scope? Detached from your gun,
What scope?
like a rifle scope. Use it to take a look around. If you like. Maybe get a view through the window. See who's in there.
We got binos. Can I actually see if he's actually in the building through the windows?
Yeah, you could do that. Go ahead and give me a perception. Give me a +2 on the visual perception for the binos.
So I just do 2, not the plus in there. For mods, right?
Yep.
It'll be an 18.
Okay. Yeah, with an 18, you do see that the inside of the shop seems to be a little bit off-putting. There are people who are giving one particular table a wide berth. Now this table is a booth. From your binoculars, you can't particularly tell. You can't get like a good read on who's in the booth, but you do see that there's a lot of movement coming from there. And there are a lot of people who are kind of like staring at it while also keeping a bit of a distance from it.
I informed the group. Yeah, he's in there.
All right.
Yeah, we have to get the people out of there, right?
I got a feeling anyone in there will know what's going wrong at any second now.
No, but is it possible for you to, I don't know, set off the fire alarms or some shit?
We are thinking alike. And yes. Um,
Were you able to get a? Were you able to see his eyes?
No, I couldn't see him directly. Just suspicious activity around the booth. It's just an assumption that I'm making.
I have a-
Also, we should all get into position to just light him up as soon as he leaves the building.
I have a plan in case he doesn't leave when the fire alarms go off.
So do I. It's called a 40 millimeter.
I meant more strategic, but yeah.
Now, what's your plan?
It depends on if the building clears out with or without him.
I'm assuming he wants shrimp, so he might just stay in there. He's
So I'm
a
thinking.
psychopath after all.
they probably just raid the kitchen.
Must be really good synth fish. Set off the alarm.
Okay. We all just kind of casually walk up as a group, and I'd like to try to get, or what I'd like to try to do, is there a way around, say, right about here? Is there a way to kind of get around the building a little bit? Either is there a walk area, or is there somewhere like maybe a little boardwalk nearby?
Yeah, there is a
General area.
the general area is one large sort of like deck that has a lot of dining areas like set on top of it. So
Mhm.
yeah, you can get around it if you wanted to.
Okay. Okay, let's all take a walk, folks. And I'll lead the group in this general area over here.
Yeah, Santana handed over control of Santos to one of us.
Okay. Once more, very distracted.
All right,
Sorry.
and we'll sort of find a table out, like an outdoor dining table, maybe also one that has. This is by the beach, so getting a beachy vibe here. Probably with one of those big umbrellas.
Oh, absolutely. All of the various tables have kind of like one of those parasols in the midst of them.
All right, let's just all kind of sit around at this table, and we'll even use the parasol as a bit of cover for other people observing us. You know, like you need one little thing you can bend it to kind of keep the light out of your eyes. I'm gonna bend that to and adjust that to kind of obscure what I'm doing. And I'm gonna get the cyber deck out again, and now we're gonna try to pull the fire alarm with science.
Dawn will be keeping an eye out on the area around them to make sure no one's exactly watching.
Would just love the periodic thought of the snow falling off my damn roof.
What would you like me to roll, Andy?
What are you trying to accomplish exactly?
Trying to hack into it and pull the fire alarm.
Um. Let's see. So first is going to be a cryptography check, and then you're going to try and get a user status on this thing. So beyond that, um,
Green baby.
Nice.
very good.
I mean, the other option to not go in the fire alarm route, it would be to try and get their notify all the customers and employees that there's a cyber psycho in that place.
They are probably aware. They just don't know what to do with this information.
uh,
I mean, they're clearly giving him a wide berth. They're very suspicious of him. They're not. They don't want to
uh,
interact with him. It's very clear they're like somewhat scared of him. But you know,
It's an excuse
what
to
do-
leave and skip out on the bill.
When you
They'll
have
probably
a-
take it, right?
when you have somebody who you think could be incredibly dangerous, who's just kind of like sitting and not currently doing anything dangerous, You don't want to do any sudden moves around them. Okay, so with a 29 on the cryptography check, you're able to assign yourself user status in the security system here. Um, there are some people who are kind of like looking at you somewhat strangely out here in the sort of dining space. Other customers, more specifically. They're not sure exactly what it is that you're doing, but you do eventually kind of gain most of the various different commands to activate all the various security systems that are here. None of them, unfortunately, have access to any sort of auto turrets or anything along those lines. It's a restaurant, not a military compound. So the most you have really is your basic stuff, calling the police, or at least signaling an alarm towards them, signaling a fire alarm in general. Shutting down all the security cameras or turning them on or whatever.
Turn them on. Let's turn them on right now and take a look if we can.
And make sure that all of them are on. Looking through the security cameras, you're able to get a better vantage point than what Dragon was able to get, as you do see what appears to be a fellow who now he's in the booth that everybody is giving a wide berth of. You're able to see that there are a lot of people kind of staring at a guy who is currently in the midst of kind of like eating with his hands as he's shoveling large chunks of fish into his face. Now, with shrimp, obviously, the usual thing that people do is they kind of like bite off the meat and kind of like throw the tails away. He's not bothering with any of that. He is crunching on the tails of the shrimp as well and just swallowing the whole thing bit by bit. Just and you see his eyes are kind of like these like pitch white balls that don't seem to have any like clear like pupils or anything like that on them. Very clearly cybernetic. He has ditched the leather jacket and he is essentially entirely shirtless, and you can see that he is just covered in all this like very obvious subdermal plating that is like sticking out from most of his body as he is in the midst of like chowing down. So that's sort of like what you see in the booth there.
Okay, let's what is his angle toward any potential entrance or exits?
The booth that he's at right now gives him a good vantage point towards the kitchen. There does not appear to be any sort of like windows necessarily that like point directly to him. Might be indicative of some sort of like internal like instinct he has to stay away from windows when he's in a building. He was ex-military from what you've been told, so the likelihood is he might like kind of have that sort of subconscious belief like don't be near windows in him, regardless of how like unstable he might be.
Okay.
While you're
Can
watching
I
it-
get onto Can I get onto the point of sale system for the people at the register?
You can.
Okay. What I'm going to type in to that is can you see this message? If so, hit 0.
There's a bit of hesitation, but after a moment, a singular 0 pops up.
I'll say this. I said, need you to be calm. And then I'll say again. I'll say to acknowledge that you need to be calm, please press 0 again.
Another moment of hesitation before another 0 is typed in.
Now I'll type back. As you all suspect, the man at that table eating the shrimp like a pig is a very, very dangerous man. Do not do anything to set him off. What I'd like you to do is boil up a big bowl of shrimp. First things first, let the manager of the kitchen staff know. And a couple of things are going to happen. You're going to put the fire alarm is going to go off soon. You're going to direct people to leave. And then somebody is going to put that big bowl of shrimp by the window on the other side. Do you understand? You can do that on the way out. Act as if you're carrying it. It was already in your hands and you're carrying it out and just put it on the table.
There's a few more moments of hesitation before another 0 is typed in.
Okay. Very good. Stay calm. Do business as normal. And have all of your coworkers do the same. Stay by this terminal, please.
You keep an eye on the security tapes, see what all they're doing and where they are in terms of your planning. After a little bit of time, you see that one of the waiters is currently like carrying out another fresh pot of shrimp with him, and he seems to be kind of like hesitating somewhat at the threshold between the general dining area and the kitchen, as he kind of stands there for a moment. And you see on the tape the man in the booth just kind of like look over in his direction as he kind of runs his hand along the bottom of the pot that he's currently got, and kind of takes another couple pieces of discarded shrimp and just more.
I'm gonna say, give him that shrimp, give him a spoon out a bit of it, hand it to him, get it on the table, and we're gonna do this. This is going down real soon. Stay calm. And then I'm going to inform my teammates here. Okay. I'm getting him by a window. We're gonna clear people out, and we're gonna get him by a window. Can you take the shot, Dragon?
Shouldn't we all be taking shots?
Well, we all will be, but I mean, you're the solo here, so
Easy enough.
okay. Let's do this. Everyone else, just get ready to cover things, and I still have control over the area, and I'll do what I can. Now I'll get back onto the terminal. I was like, get ready. Place it when the alarm goes off. Act as if you're leaving, and you don't that you still have it in your hands as if you're just walking away, and then you just drop it by that window on your way out.
Waiter kind of takes a breath as you see the person at the register kind of come over to him and let him know your directions very quietly, kind of pointing her head away from the man at the booth as he is kind of like now pounding on his table like, come on! And the waiter gulps a little bit as he makes his way over towards the booth.
And then hit the fire alarm.
You hit the fire alarm, and everybody starts kind of looking around, looking panicked, as the person who was at the register begins to tell everybody to calm down. Just a little kitchen fire. It happens. This happens sometimes during rush hours. Please, everybody, just make your way outside. And the psycho himself makes his way over, like he stands up and starts looking around as the sort of like of the alarm is blaring through the place, and he kind of like begins to march over towards the waiter with the pot, who is just kind of standing there shakily, as he's like, oh, we gotta we gotta go, sir. As the psycho then like grabs the pot from him and kind of like shoves it closer to himself and gets in the waiter's face and goes, "Mine!" The waiter just kind of lets go of the pot and puts his hands up. Okay, it's yours. It's yours.
Tell them if there's anyone still left at the terminal, get out.
And soon enough, the building itself, it has all the various workers as well as the customers filing out of the place fairly quickly, as you see on the camera. The psycho himself, kind of like in the pot, kind of he's like digging his face into the pot, like and then he kind of looks around for a moment and sees that everybody is gone before kind of like making his way into the kitchen area.
All right. I guess during all this, Dragon did not have a clear shot, right? It just didn't work out like that.
Yeah, they weren't able to lure him over to a window.
Okay, I just let them know. All right, he's in the kitchen now. He's isolated. I'll see what else I can do. In fact, I'm going to get into temperature controls. I'm going to turn off the HVAC. You do that in the kitchen, that kitchen is going to get to be 140 degrees.
I don't care about the temperature, though.
He may not, but it'll make his life a little less enjoyable in there. Let's
Cooking
see
all
if
the
that has an
shrimp
effect on
for
him.
him.
So again, HVAC off in the kitchen.
Understood. Kitchen temperatures are going to begin to rise dramatically to incredibly uncomfortable levels, damaging levels to most people. This fella does he at the very least in the moment does not seem terribly bothered.
Okay, maybe a little bit. Sometimes dehydration can sneak up on you. Maybe we'll let him do that for a little bit. Everybody, I'm going to suggest everybody in this team get into position. I will continue to work this from here.
Okay, what's the rest of the team's plan since he wasn't able to be lured next to the window?
I was assuming 2 at the front, 2 at the back.
I go in.
Yeah. His
We can guard an egress point. You can make, keep an eye on exit points. I'll point that out to the team. Any quick exit points in the kitchen. If he gets uncomfortable, he might want to pop out. Otherwise, just giving everybody a good lay of the land. And the longer he stays in there, he might take some dehydration fatigue from being in there for too long. Especially if he's fixated on something. That could be to your advantage. It may not be to your advantage. I'll leave that up to you.
I have some EMP grenades that should slow him down.
Don will be seen reaching into his vest and changing out the magazines of his pistol, going from regular ammo to armor piercing.
Okay.
Santos is going to look around because, like, from his experience from the cafe, he is not unwilling to just open a hole in a wall and just go from there. Waiting for him to go out on a specific exit may backfire on us.
You guys position yourselves as you need to. Santos is imagining potentially doing kind of a break-in. Do you have any explosives that you might be able to use for that sort of a thing, Santos?
Sadly, I do not.
All right.
There was no explosives in the gear menu. I don't think I've read any explosives in the PDF either.
If you want some distracting, I'll get on my agent.
And stuff now. I don't think so.
I'll get on my agent and I'll tell Don. If you need some other distracting, I can activate the fire suppression. The halon can toss up some smoke, but that may be to your disadvantage too.
Is there any way you're able to hack the psycho himself?
Good question.
You'd have to get into him. You'd have to get up into
not without physical access. Not without physical access. No.
Darn. All right, we're ready for this show. Keep the agent up in case I need that cover you offered.
Will do.
You ready, K9?
Also, be alert for any
I'm
systems that
fucking
might be able to
ready.
manipulate.
Dragon, what's your strategy here as everybody else is getting ready to breach the place?
I'm gonna assume the back door leads to the kitchen directly, so I'm gonna assume take.
The back door leads to another one of the leads to essentially another one of the customer sort of dining areas, but like both of the doors, there's an entrance and there's an exit from in the front and the back. The back is to kind of like provide service to the people who would be sitting out back. So either way, there will be pathways to get into the kitchen from where you are.
Yeah, I just didn't want to bunch up all in the same angle and get fucking netted.
Mm-hmm.
Does Nova know if he took his weapons with him in the back of the kitchen, or if he left them somewhere else?
I thought
This guy
they
had
were all like
integrated
attached
weaponry.
to him.
I thought he had a lot of integrated weaponry.
Well,
Yeah.
That's what they were able to
Oh.
determine. That most of his weaponry is integrated.
well, you said there was a heavy SMG, a heavy pistol with a grenade launcher.
Mhm.
That's all integrated. Okay.
Yeah.
He's a cyber psycho. These guys are
Fuck
built.
himself up.
He's
I
an,
mean, he
he's,
fucked
he's,
himself up.
he's an
Yeah,
old
exactly.
I
Militech
got
soldier.
you. All in his damn arms. Gotcha.
He used to be a
Arms,
Militech.
arms and legs, to be honest.
Yeah.
Arms, legs, pelvis, shoulders.
Gotcha. Just wanted to get a full picture on before I.
Oh, that's a fun thought. The pelvis gun, where you just
It's just like a revolver.
You say that, you know, the penile implant. I was thinking about modifying it with a taser.
Yeah, well, there you
Remember from Dusk Till Dawn? Remember from Dusk Till Dawn? A sex machine had
Oh
the.
yeah. Sex machine
Oh,
had the pelvic thrust fucking gun. God,
Lover,
All right.
animal fighter.
All right. We're going to make our move, Don says, while they try to enter quietly at first.
Okay. So just so I have the right imagery here, Dragon, back or front entrance?
Side door or whatever it is.
Okay. We'll put you in the back then. And you'll be going in with Santos, and then K9 and Don will be going up front. So all four of you will be making your way inside, and there will be two pathways into the kitchen where you can kind of hear the sort of like chaos going on inside as he is like ripping open basically like everything that he can, trying to find all of the shrimp that he can. I don't know why this is his obsession, but it is. So who's making the first move to get into the kitchen?
I would take it.
Okay. K9,
And
you,
as soon as I
take a step into the kitchen, and you see him kind of like ripping you see him kind of like he's tossing the current like massive refrigeration unit. He's like ripping it off of the wall and kind of like and getting on top of it as he opens it and starts searching through basically the whole thing, like tearing out things that he's not interested in, tossing it to the side as you make your way in. He kind of immediately like stops and looks up towards you. And you see his big white cyber eyes turn red as he looks in your direction. Ah!
I immediately fire my grenade launcher with an EMP grenade.
As he's looking up to you, can I get a reflex plus 1d10? So a reflex roll from each of you. Just click your reflex and do that. That's going to be our initiative here. We'll put the cyber psycho up here. Didn't give him his picture for some reason.
Ooh.
I'm annoyed.
Picture. You can just show the image if you want. Probably. Sweet.
Did that do it?
Sweet.
Did.
Sweet. Look at us kicking ass.
And he rolled so high he broke the roller.
I think I accidentally put in the wrong thing.
Okay. Goodness gracious.
You rolled nah.
Nah.
I was trying to figure out how to add the 1d10.
Okay, so we got K9 is going on 23. We got done. Who's going on 19 plus 6? No, sorry. 5. So 24. Update. So 23 for K9. Whoops. Removed. I removed Bruce from the thing instead of updating him. 24 for Bruce. Santana Heresy. Both of you can go ahead and roll your reflexes as well. Dragon got a 15.
You want to put me on the combat tracker since I might take actions, even though I'm not in there?
Sure.
Okay. So I should hit what now?
Reflex.
Reflex. Just plain hit reflex. Nothing.
Yep, just hit reflex. It'll roll a d10 plus your reflex. Should do Santana, same thing for you. Okay. Santana, are you there? You have to AFK again.
Well, I didn't say anything
Mike's
about
on mute. I don't.
Mike,
Yeah.
His mic's always muted, for the most part.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I don't know why my mic stopped working. I'll be there. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. So my little journey to pick up my stuff ended up being more complicated than it should have been.
Understood.
One thing came to sorry. Yeah.
We just got started.
Do I go first?
No. K9 started combat, so he'll be doing it first, but we'll be making sure that everything is working correctly here. So I need to.
So Santan, just need to roll a reflex on
Yep.
your sheet when you get a chance, so you can get on the combat tracker. Or we can do it for you, whatever works for you.
Need to also bring up 2 separate sheets here.
Do it. Oh, 15 for Santos.
Okay. All right. So, K9, you're opening up with a grenade.
That's right.
Okay, go ahead and roll that for me. You don't have it currently. It's not equipped on your character sheet. Give me a second. We'll fix that. Carried.
Ah.
Carried. Carried. Carried.
There we go. There's the reflexes. Woo!
I think we already rolled it for you there, bud. Which is good because we the initial roll was a 15, where you got a 10. So Yeah, something.
Better. Yeah, definitely taking the better one.
Yeah, it would have been better with the one that was rolled for you.
Use the Santos luck.
Why is it not showing up on the thing? That's so fucking annoying. Carried. Yeah, it says carried. Which grenade are you using, by the way, there, K9?
EMP grenade.
Okay.
So do I make a heavy weapons check?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Yuck.
All right, your grenade launcher ends up kind of misfiring, and it ends up causing the grenade to kind of go off in the grenade launcher. So do you have? Yeah. You do. You find yourself kind of, and I think you were also going in with Mr. Bruce. I don't think he has any.
I do not have any
cyberware.
grenades. I have some cyber stuff, but
Well, I will say that all of the electronics of both you and Bruce have now turned off, which will include any cyberware that you have. For but a moment. Everything is kind of, it's not like it's turned off, it's more that it's like acting wildly, like it's just kind of like uncontrolled. So any rolls that you make using your cyberware right now are at a -4.
Okay.
jeez.
That includes
Yeah,
if you've got like cyber arms and you're using them to fire guns, that counts for that as well. Things like that. So yeah, bear that in mind. As you your initial salvo does not start off the way that you would like it to. Mr. Bruce.
No.
How are you going to follow up?
Well, I still got one good arm in me. I'm gonna immediately open fire with my heavy pistol
Okay.
with the AP rounds.
Okay, let's make sure that's also carried. And yet again, it is not showing up in the weapons for some reason, even though it is carried. Okay, go ahead and make me, let's call it, where is it? The pistol check? Is that what it is?
Handgun.
Handgun?
You want me to roll it?
Yes, please. Ooh, there we go.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is a successful shot. Go ahead and roll the heavy pistol's damage there. That's going to be 3d6. $11. Do you have armor piercing?
Yeah, that's the only ammo I got loaded in.
Okay. Oh, shit.
Is that your mic again?
Yep.
You
Every
get
once,
snooze
every
first.
once in a while, this thing just like naturally unscrews from my.
You need to get some
From my
Loctite
van.
on that or some shit.
I don't know. I'll have to do something. I don't fucking know. Whatever. I'll just hold it for the rest of this. I'll fix it after the game. Okay, so let's see. That's an ablation amount of 2, so that makes 2. Okay, so arm piercing round goes firing straight into this guy. Hits him right in one of the chests. You see it kind of like it kind of ricochets a little bit off of him, but you see that it does still leave like a mark from where it was able to penetrate a little bit. He takes a total of 2 of your 11 damage.
Jesus Christ, Donald just keep ducked behind the booth he was hiding behind.
All right, and that is going to be the Cyber Psycho's turn as he kind of like turns and looks to both of you, and you see him kind of like hold up one of his arms, and he is going to fire a grenade in your direction this time. Let's take a look at him real quick. So that is going to be a Ooh. Now, the way that combat works, you can roll to dodge if you would like. Otherwise, there is a flat check in terms of what he needs to hit to succeed.
Then I would like to dodge.
Okay.
I assume that's evasion.
It is evasion.
I'm good at evasion.
Okay, 17. Don, are you also going to be rolling evasion?
What is that under?
Fighting.
Yeah. Fighting skills,
It's
evasion.
there.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Okay, the both of you are hit with the grenade.
Oh, man.
So that is going to be... Let's take a look at his damage for the grenade here. And both of you have armor on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
Some
some
kind of-
armor.
Okay.
Light armor check.
All right. Thankfully, this thing kind of like rolled really shit on the grenade. So that is only going to be, let's see, 13 damage overall. So that's only going to be 2 damage to Bruce. And 2 damage to K9 as the both of you kind of like do your best to kind of like shield yourself from the blast, and it you manage to kind of like get away from most of the shrapnel.
Damn it, K9, you had one job, Don will say while trying to stay behind cover.
All right.
I'm sorry.
How about
I know you're sorry.
we got our police officer next, Santana.
Yeah. It's gonna. Since that they are using handguns, using grenades that fail, let's go for the safe option. And he pulls out his machine gun.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, his rifle, and I assume that's gonna be full auto.
Okay, so that's going to be an auto fire roll from you.
Yeah. Please, please, please. So how does a spending luck work?
You can spend your luck acts as a flat modifier towards your roll, where however many points you spend. You can only spend as many luck points as you have once per session. So you have up to 4 right now, I believe, on Santos, which means you can spend up to 4 points per session.
I'm going to spend 2 points of luck.
Okay, so you can add a +2 to your roll.
Yes. And I was going to need it.
14. Let me double check here. Assault rifle. Auto fire DVs. There we go. Yeah, unfortunately, you're a little too close for your assault rifle. This is more like a mid to long range weapon, and you're using it in kind of close combat, and so you're kind of like shooting wild as this guy is kind of like moving in a way that is way too fast for for any normal person, as he's just kind of like dipping all around your sort of fire and giving you a bit of a look with his red cyber eyes. So you miss, unfortunately.
He's just gonna scream. For his life.
He's gonna what?
He's just gonna scream for his life. Like that.
Ah, shit. All right, Heresy, Solo Man, what you doing?
He's still in the kitchen.
Yes.
If I grenade him, is anyone else in the fucking blast radius?
No, provided that you don't fuck up your grenade hardcore.
Well, it's good then I have fumble recovery, and I tad. I keep switching, flip flopping between fumble recovery and damage to roll out. Damage
Okay.
to fuck. I'm gonna keep damage up. Heavy weapons. I am going to just burn 3 luck on this.
Sounds good.
For 14 too. What the fuck?
Okay, so you roll a 14 on your heavy weapons. That is a grenade launcher. 7 to 12 yards. Yeah, unfortunately, that is also going to be. You're gonna kind of short that a little bit as your grenade kind of like bounces in several different places in this sort of like small area of the kitchen, and then ends up going off in the corner a little bit too far away from him to have any sort of actual effect.
That's what happens when I use heavy weapons without having skills in it.
All right, Nova Pop.
All right, Nova Pop is going to, having got into the kitchen automation systems. If you've seen some of the kitchen automation systems of real world today, there's all sorts of arms on rails that move food around and utensils around, and so there's probably a number of various different arms dangling around that they could use. Now, describe the scene a bit here. Is this like a real cramped kitchen they're fighting in, or is this guy hiding? Is he trying to?
It's a little bit. He's out in the open right now. He has been shot at by Don's pistol. He managed to get shot like kind of in the chest a little bit. Didn't seem to slow him down too terribly much. 2 grenades have gone off. 1 an EMP grenade, which is like kind of fucked up the cameras in the direction that Don and K9 are in, so you can't really like see what's going on with them all that well, as it's just kind of like scrambling. Whereas he is also in the midst of kind of like dodging all sorts of bullets from your lawman Santos, and another grenade has gone off in this sort of back corner of the place. It's fairly well like open kitchen area for the purpose of kind of like allowing people to kind of come in and out and go around each other fairly easily. So yeah, it's I would say it's probably about like
So if he's somewhat out in the open, then what I'm going to do, what the automated kitchen arms are going to do is they're going to grab a big old heavy pot of deep fat fry grease, and they're going to spill that throw that right on or near him to either hurt him or trip him up.
Okay, what I'm going to ask for you is an electronics/security tech roll.
And I'm going to burn 2 luck here.
It's 16. Okay. Yep. I will put that there. So you are able to successfully douse him with some burning fry oil. And go ahead and roll me, let's call it 3d6. And his 2d6, and his armor's not going to be relevant to this because it's going to be more or less fire based. Okay, so he takes a solid 6 damage as you pour flaming hot fry oil on him, and he begins to like he was already in the midst of just like yelling a battle cry, and now he's like yelling again, now in sort of like a bit of pain, as he kind of like takes one of his hands and backhands the pot that you just spilled on him, and it goes like flying into one of the corners. You now see that like bits of his like very synthetic skin begins to melt away, and you're seeing the sort of like not circuitry, but like the coating of the cyber arms underneath, as he kind of like rolls his arm a bit and kind of like shakes his head. Brings us, let's see, that'll bring us back to Mr. Bruce.
Alright, so I gotta ask, is like his grenade launcher, is it like sticking out on his shoulder, or is that like something built into his arms?
It seems like it's built into his arm. One of his arms.
Okay, no disabling that then. K9, I'm gonna try and get his head. Please cover me.
Okay.
I'm gonna die here. Don just immediately peeks around.
Aren't we all?
He just peeks around the corner and immediately tries to open fire, aiming for the head of the cyber psycho.
Okay, so that's gonna be a called shot. So it's a -8, I think. Yes, to your roll. Called shot for that. Go ahead and roll me your handgun at a -8.
Yikes.
Okay. Let's see, so going for his head. All right,
Definitely.
a 7 is unfortunately going to miss for sure, as your shot kind of goes wild and it hits one of the cabinets, and you see like a bunch of sort of like stored fat just begin to like leak from the cabinet onto the oven below as it begins to set afire.
Oh, as if this situation couldn't get any worse. It's the end of my turn.
All right, that canine.
Hey,
Your-
my
your-
arm
your
is.
arms are spasming and like being unreliable to you right now.
Okay. I try to shoot my next MP grenade.
Okay.
That- That's -4 then.
If you're it's at -4.
I'm going to spend 3 luck on it.
Okay. Try
Maybe,
and offset that the
maybe.
best you can.
Yeah, my last luck. Oh,
There you go.
oh yeah.
You take a moment to breathe as you feel the sort of like spasms in your arm as you would kind of like bring up your grenade launcher once more. You load up another EMP grenade into it, and you kind of wait patiently for a moment for the spasm to go directly towards him before firing off the grenade. It ends up like hitting him kind of like square in the chest before bouncing off just in the air, just a tad, before kind of exploding straight into his face as you hear him you hear this distorted ow as you see most of his body begin to spasm against his will. He is now at a -4 for all of his actions.
Boom! Suck this! And I take cover.
You see him kind of like reach down towards one of his legs as you see a glitched bunch of mechanisms try their best to kind of like punch out from his leg a holster as he slowly picks up an SMG from his holster and begins to spray it in your general direction. So let's see what he can do here. So that is going to be that. Normally he has that, so that's going to be a -4.
Why do they always have to shoot back?
Okay, do you want to give me an evasion, or are you
Show
sure?
it up.
Would like to do.
You shoot another grenade at us, or
Not
Yeah,
good.
that's yeah. So far to that.
Alrighty. So if you hit, roll 2d6 damage, multiply it by the amount you beat the d8 to hit your target. Up to a maximum. So that's going to be that times, what's the max? Pop up heavy SMG. What's the max that can do? Sort of like pseudo crit wise is my question.
That's a good question. I don't like it at all, but it's a good question.
Okay. Auto fire 3. Okay, so 3. He can only multiply it by 3. So 4. Okay, so you take 13 damage as you get kind of like railed with heavy SMG bullets. Kind of like just littering you. Which does hurt quite a bit, I imagine. That's a decent portion of your hit points right now. Santana.
Mm.
I see Canine get riddled with bullets, and I'm going to like go back for a second, try to recalculate my shot, and fire again.
Mhm.
All right, give it a go.
I'm gonna give it a go. I'm gonna spend another 2 luck, because with what happened right now, I believe that if I don't, I'm probably going to die. So, I know. Okay, that's better. That's better. I like that better.
Nice. He will roll evasion. He is at a penalty for that since he is EMP'd. Let's take a look at his evasion real quick. So. Let's take that. Okay. Go ahead and you're auto firing, right? Santana?
Yes, I'm auto firing. Yeah.
All right, so go ahead and roll 2d6 and multiply that by 3.
Okay, that's roll 2d6. If I get the command right.
So 8
Cool,
times 3
that's
is 24.
Mhm.
Take a look at his stuff here and also your stuff. So you don't have any. Yeah, you just have regular ammo. Okay, good to know.
Yes.
So you will be doing a total of 13 damage to him.
Cool.
As you riddle him with assault rifle bullets. All right. So Santana manages to land his attack this particular time, which is good. He wouldn't have been able to do so if it weren't for the EMP. As a note. So thankfully this
for the win.
guy's matrix dodging does not serve him well while he is currently spasming from EMP poisoning, more or less. Heresy, what are you doing?
The exact same thing.
Another grenade?
No, it's Santana.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I thought he was going to say I cast Eldritch Blast.
No, Vargas doesn't have Eldritch Blast. You should know this. He casts death from his bow.
All right. I think you actually, yes, you now have your weapons in your fight tab in the bottom. Or at least some of them. You have your assault rifle. Yeah. So go ahead and roll and click on auto for assault rifle if that's what you're doing. And then roll an attack.
I mean, I did. Oh, it doesn't even allow me to fucking execute macros from the bar. That's amazing.
Let's see. So fumble recovery. What exactly does that do again? I'm trying to double check.
It negates -1s basically,
Home
but
roll
it's still
recovery,
acts as a 1.
roll while attacking. Yes, got it. That takes up all 4 points. You negate your 1, so it just acts as a 1. And then you have a plus what to your skill?
I have a +4 to auto fire. So
No,
it's
you have an 8.
for what are you talking about? The base, the level, or the stat?
The base stat for auto fire.
Base stat is 12. Because I put 4 points into auto fire. It's a +4 on top of my reflex.
Oh, it's because your mask off page is not the same as your other page. That's why.
Yeah, I can't access that other page.
That's fine. Okay, so that's a 12, so it's a 13 altogether. Got it.
Yeah,
13 is going to miss the base DV, so he's not even going to bother rolling evasion, as you unfortunately are shooting more or less all around him. He's a little bit hard to get a bead on with his like unnatural movements right now from the spasming of the EMP, so that has not been reliable to you. Okay, so you managed to do that. Let me... Boom, 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 boom. There you go. Now you have access to being able to hit the auto thing in the bottom in your fight tab. Should be able to anyway. And I will make sure that Bruce can do the same with his heavy pistol. I will make sure that K9 can do the same with his grenade launcher and heavy pistol and his combat knife. And I will make sure that Santos can do the same for his assault rifle. That's already good to go. Okay, that brings us over to Nova Pop.
Nova Pop will take control of one of the Roombas that just can move around and do basic cleaning. You mentioned that they're part of the the outside there was set on fire. We also know that he's covers on grease, so he's just going to carry a big old roll of paper towels over from the fire to him.
So this little Roomba is gonna like grab some paper towels, set it on fire, and then just come over and be like, eh.
Yeah.
Roomba first blood.
Okay. Go ahead and give me electronic security tech. Give me that check. The visual.
I'll burn my last 2 luck.
Okay. A 19. So you are able to toss some flaming paper towels on him. Roll me 1d6 real quick. Okay, 6 fire damage.
Maximum damage from the Roomba. Choomba.
As you just like you toss this fire on this fiery roll of paper towels on him, and it just kind of like it goes splaying out over top of him, and he's just kind of like flailing at it for a little bit, like.
Welcome to the jungle, bitch.
So fucking silly. I love it. All right, Bruce.
Does switching weapons cost like my turn?
Only if you don't already have it equipped. So if you're talking about your shotgun, then yeah, I think so.
All right. Well,
Actually, wait, no. That just takes a separate type of action. You can switch your weapon. It's fine.
all right. While this is going on, Don's going to immediately let his cyber leg open up so he can take a shotgun out from it.
Okay.
He's going to take aim and try and fire with an incendiary round, because fuck it, heat seems to be the main thing we're going for here.
Out of curiosity, do you have a cyber, like, arm that you're using for this? Yeah.
You know,
So
one
that would
arm,
be-
one leg.
That would be a shotgun. You're not firing that one-handed, so you're using both hands. You have a cyber arm, so we're going to have that a -2 because you're still affected by the EMP from before.
Oh shit, I thought that we're off by now. Oh well. So what do I roll? Heavy weapons?
Yes. Shotgun for that, so it's that. So he'll go ahead and roll evasion. All right. He manages to get around the shotgun blast by kind of like ducking underneath it in kind of like a very unnatural, like sort of full split before like popping himself back up into the air.
Jesus Christ. It's like dealing with a spider. He'll just duck back into cover, trying to get his hand working by hitting it against the wall.
But K9, back to you.
Okay, could I fire another grenade without damaging anyone on my side?
Theoretically.
Well, it is a risk. Okay,
You know it's a risk. You've already fucked it up once.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
so-
see what hitting it with a second one will do, though. He's already been nailed by one
That
EMP.
being said, you have already launched both of your EMP grenades, so you're going to have
Yeah,
to
that-
reload. And that is going to be your turn if you want to reload your grenade launcher. Otherwise, you will have to switch to your heavy
Okay,
pistol.
yeah. Yeah, then I'm going to do that, and just shoot him.
Okay. If you look
Yeah.
at the fight
Is-
tab in the bottom if you run
yeah.
that'll give you a button you can just push to roll for a heavy pistol.
Is it? I'm going to use the pistol with my right hand. That's not my cyber arm, so
Okay, so you
Is
can go ahead and use
no
your
minus
bonus on that.
four?
No -4 on that then.
okay.
Nice.
Oh, perfect.
Okay. Yeah, that'll go ahead and hit. Heavy pistol, I believe, does 3d6.
Yeah, I
Okay.
believe so.
Go ahead and roll 3d6, and I do believe that you can go ahead and shoot again with it because it has a rate of fire of 2.
Oh, it does? Oh
Yep.
shit, I didn't do it with my first time.
All right, nice.
I can. Nice.
You don't have any. Yeah, you're just using basic heavy pistol stuff for this.
Yeah,
so
babe. It's
no armor
basic.
pen.
Basic
fine.
MU.
That's fine. Still 13 damage. It still does at least a little bit to him. That's another.
And I can-
Another ricochet. Sparks flying off of his chest.
Now I can attack again.
Yes.
Perfect.
Heavy
That's-
pistols are able to shoot twice.
I like it.
16.
What is your like?
That will hit the DV. The question is, what about his evasion? That's not what I meant to do. Okay, you do manage to hit again. Go ahead and roll another 3d6. We'll see if this does damage to him. Looks like it. We'll do another.
Oh.
It'll chip off another 2.
Okay.
All right. Cyberpsycho's getting pretty pissed off right now. As if he hasn't already been. And he is going to go ahead and launch a grenade launcher towards you guys, mostly because of the actually, there's 2 people with assault rifles that are hitting him from one side, so he's gonna switch over to that side real quick, as he's gonna pop his second grenade at you guys.
Where what?
Yeah.
I mean, where
Uh-oh.
is Santana? Did he take the side door with me? I thought he took the front with the other 3.
Santana went to the back entrance with you.
Okay, I must have missed it then.
Okay, so there's that. All right, he is going to shoot wild, and the both of you kind of like duck as a grenade like launches behind you guys, like to a decent degree, hits one of the booths and blows up the booth as opposed to you. So you are safe.
That would have blown up my head. Like I would have died for that.
Potentially, yes. It is dangerous to fight a cyber psycho. Yes, you're learning that. Santana, your turn.
Damn, the police
Like,
training isn't what it used to be.
In character, he looks at the post and says that. I should reconsider my career options. Like, why am I not a model?
This isn't even your career. This is a side thing.
Technically, it is because the police were already on the fucking cyber psycho case.
Yeah. I think it is actually my turn now. So.
Yep. I think you have,
Yeah.
Also already rolled your assault rifle auto twice, so I think you need to reload.
Yeah. I need to reload, yeah. Is there any way that I can shoot the Roomba that is on his feet and make it blow up?
With your heavy pistol, sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna...
We're gonna call that. Let's see. Let's throw the heavy pistol onto there for you so that you can shoot that, and we'll say that it is loaded with basic ammo.
Yes, it is loaded with basic ammo, yeah.
So you're gonna do an aim shot at the thing to try and. I mean, to be fair, this thing doesn't run on gas, so you might just end up just disabling it.
Damn, I cannot make it blow up. Oh well, I just shoot him with my handgun anyways.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to attack with your handgun.
I'm going to roll to attack with my handgun.
Heavy pistol can attack twice in a round, so feel free to attack twice if you would like to.
I will. I'm gonna need
That's
to.
gonna be a miss.
I'm gonna need to very...
Oh,
Oh.
no. Oh, no, no, no.
Oh.
No. Oh, no.
I swear to God,
no.
if I somehow get shot,
No. That's just a wild ass miss. So yeah, you are unsuccessful in your attacks.
that one took out the Roomba.
Heresy.
So then I'm gonna be auto fire on cyber psycho.
Gotcha. Woo.
My attack was just a distraction. I distracted him. So that...
All right, and he is at a -4 for dodging as well. So even though he rolled a 24, that's at a -4, making it a 20. So you do end up hitting him. Go ahead and roll 2d6. Multiply that by 3. Ah, fuck.
Maybe you need to weld that thing to the arm or something.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. So that is going to be 15 altogether. Is that armor-piercing bullets?
No.
Okay, so that is only going to be that much then. As you kind of like you unload another 12 rounds into him, and you do take another chunk out of him. Puts him down to, let's see, so that. Okay. This guy is very resilient. He's taken a lot of bullets, grenades, all sorts of things. And I think most people are either on their handguns or need to reload something or something. Nova Pop.
Nova Pop has now taken control of all of the digital signage within the facility. He has created a little mashup of the most obnoxious mascot pitch ever. it's just going to be he's taking all the pre-recorded stuff, and it's just like, it's shrimp. What about shrimp? Get the shrimp. Isn't the shrimp all great? We get shrimp over here. We get shrimp over there. What about the shrimp? And he's going to make that so fucking obnoxious, and they're going to all blast all at once, sensory overload from all of the digital signage toward him in an attempt to distract him.
Okay, you're gonna roll something, and that's gonna become the DV for this guy in terms of what he needs to resist torture. So that is going to be a electronic security check for you and a resist torture check for him.
No more luck. So we're going in. Go for the best.
15, so he's at a -4 on that. Well, I guess I already rolled it. So that's 11. Okay, so all the shrimp is kind of like rolling off. Like it's just kind of just like shrimp. You want shrimp? Yeah, we do. Fresh shrimp. There's old video playing of from the Forrest Gump movie. Just like, we got loads of different types of shrimp. We got.
We got popcorn. We got popcorn shrimp. We got shrimp gumbo. Shrimpity shrimp.
And you see him just kind of like shake his head a little bit as he kind of like focuses himself and just like flexes both of his hands, putting one of his hands over top of his his submachine gun, and just kind of like pointing it in random directions. It's just like, shrimp.
I think he's about to lose it.
This is why net runners are dangerous, motherfuckers.
Bruce, we're back to you.
Has the EMP wore off yet?
Yes, the EMP will be wearing off for you.
Okay, well, I'm gonna immediately stand, take another shot with a shotgun.
Alrighty.
Firing a fire round.
That is not going to hit, as you kind of like fire wildly and hit one of the another one of the cabinets. You see kind of like several fresh bass just kind of like fall from the cabinet. They're all wrapped up in this like plastic that you have now blown to pieces.
Oh, Jesus. If only I could get advantage while he's distracted. I'm done. I'm just gonna immediately take back cover. Just pump out the shell, looking annoyed. K9, try and flatline him.
K9, your turn.
Okay, I shoot him.
No, you don't.
Nah.
Not on that.
Okay.
Not on that shot.
Okay.
Not on that shot.
Just see a bullet. Just see a bullet take off part of my hair. Like, what the hell?
Wow! What was that?
Oh God, that was not a great first shot that goes wild. But the second shot does manage to hit. So go ahead and roll me another 3d6. See if you do any damage to him. 12. Yep, that'll do one.
Yay.
It's dinging him. Kind of putting a bunch of dents in the sort of metal subdermal armor that you can see like poking out from his body here. It's pretty obvious to see, but it's not doing the damage you would hope at the very least. All right, Cyber Psycho. He needs to reload his grenade launcher or use his heavy SMG. He's going to use his heavy SMG again. And he is going to probably... We're going to pour it into K9 again. That's my guess. That's my think. That's my thought.
Agree.
So, let's see. What is that? Okay. Do you want to roll me evasion there, K9?
Of course.
Not good. Okay, we're going to roll 2d6 here, so it's going to be 4 times 3 is 12. All right. So K9, you will take a total of 4 damage as you get lit up again. And as he kind of like
Ouchie.
ends this particular auto fire, and you hear the like clicking of the empty round, he just kind of like drops it for a moment as you see both of his hands, both of his cyber arms, then begin to sprout these massive claws. One sprouts claws, the other one sprouts a massive sort of like whip of monowire that he begins to whip around wildly.
Don't let that thing touch you, or you'll instantly regret it.
Holy fucking shit, kill it!
Santana.
Psycho, is there a cyber psycho in your fucking room right now making all that noise?
That would be my washer.
I'm going to try and hit it. This time, I am committing to blowing up the Roomba.
Yeah.
Hacks
Yeah.
the Roomba, overloads it.
That will actually miss a Roomba.
This-
Unfortunately.
Jesus
As you fire,
Christ.
you fire at the Roomba a little bit, and you kind of like hit. Pew, pew. You do have another attack if you'd like to.
I mean, yeah, this time I'm just gonna hit the Cyber Psycho, you know. We'll try to hit the Cyber Psycho. Yeah, that definitely isn't good either.
These are unsuccessful attacks. Going back to Heresy.
I reload my assault rifle.
All right, you're gonna have to spend your turn reloading your assault rifle, and we'll have that boom skis for you. Confirm. All right. So by your next turn, your assault rifle will be back in action. All right, Nova Pop.
Noah Pop will now. I'd say he's going to try, at this point, he's got a good look at this guy. He's been watching him for a little while. Can he find out this guy's name and ideally the name of his parents?
That's gonna be a difficult one, but go ahead and make me a library search. +4 from your cyber deck. Okay, 20. You do a little bit of you do like a facial scan on him from the security cameras, and you start running a search on him. You're able to find that the most information that you're able to find from him is that he was a part of a unit in the NUSA called the Berets, which would.
God damn, that fucking washer is so annoying.
I'm sorry, I could do nothing about it.
Ugh, sorry.
It's not that bad.
But yeah, he's part of a unit called the Berets, and he would be referred to as, let's see, I think his real name would probably be, Jonathan Kringle. Why not?
Sure.
Um,
Parents, authority figures of any kind.
There was a person who ran the Berets by the name of, let's call him Captain Price. Probably was in charge of his unit, probably gave him orders regularly.
Okay. Pull up an image of him. Now his image is going to appear, Captain Price's image is going to appear on the signage. And he's going to say, Kringle, listen to me right now. The shrimp, it's inside of you. It's inside of you. You need to get it out right now. Pull it out with your arms if you have to. That's where the shrimp is.
Why
That's where
did
you can get to all the shrimp.
Why did you betray Soap?
So he's essentially going to use this ghost from his past, as well as his mania, to try to get him to self-harm.
Give me a cyber tech.
Any mods?
No, I don't think so. Not on this one.
Okay, straight roll then. 14.
Okay, all right. You do see him kind of put both of his arms kind of like behind his head a moment as you see him trying to like plug his ears with like his biceps for a moment as he's like shaking his head like no, no. Bruce,
Yeah, well.
he is distracted. He will not be
Alright.
rolling. He will not be rolling evasion this round.
Now the biggest obstacle is just hitting him. Just racks another shotgun shell before standing up and taking the shot.
Yep. $14 will hit.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Finally, my fire rounds hit.
With him not evading, you just got to beat a base DV to hit like a stationary target. So that'll do it. Let's see. Shotgun. That does 5d6. So go ahead and roll that.
Incendiary shells at anything?
Incendiary shotgun slugs. They take an extra 2 damage to HP at the end of their turn. Yes.
Speaking of which, isn't he already on fire somewhat?
Yeah, well,
yes.
it's more like he was just torched.
Okay.
don't
Very
know
good
if it's-
shot. As you kind of like load that straight into his chest, you see the incendiary rounds kind of like burning into him as he's just kind of like stumbles backwards. No! The shrimp!
You keep screaming about it. The only shrimp I see standing here is you. He'll immediately duck into cover after shouting that, knowing he's about to get shot.
K9.
So, can I throw grenades? Or do I have to use my grenade launcher?
You can technically just throw grenades. That is something that you can do. Let's see. That'd be a different rule than just that, though. I think that would probably just be a straight like body.
Yeah, okay.
Not your best stat.
That's not my best and actually my worst, but yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see a throw action in the combat. It just says throw. Grab an enemy and throw him to
Yeah.
throw to the ground or an object. I'm like, what? It's an action?
Yeah.
I'm uncertain as to why that's the case, but there doesn't appear to be a throw grenade thing, but we're going to go ahead and piecemeal one together by calling it a body check, since body is essentially like your strength as well as your kind of like endurance to a degree.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, but then I would like to reload my grenade launcher. That's probably a better idea.
Okay, you can go ahead and reload your grenade launcher. You can spend your turn doing that. Boomskis. What are you reloading it with? Which grenades?
I'm going with one flashbang and one biotoxin.
Okay, one flashbang, one biotoxin. Got it. All right. Cyber Psycho kind of like shakes his head as he's just like, Captain! And he immediately leaps towards where Bruce is hiding and kind of like brings his claw on top of the sort of like surface of your hiding space, Bruce, and brings his monowire whip hand over towards you. And that is going to be... What is his melee weapon? Ooh, Jesus Christ, it's high. Okay.
I don't think any martial art could help.
So Lundy, the athletics skill says skill of jumping, climbing, throwing, swimming, lifting, and weights, etc.
So athletics would be the one for throwing?
It's either throwing people or throwing objects. It doesn't really go into details of what kind of throwing.
We can go with both on
Can
that.
I evade?
You can choose to evade. Your DV is, I guess, high. I believe it's a 22.
Use some luck.
Chief, I have no luck left.
10 A 10's not gonna do it, so you're gonna get a mono wire straight to the face. So that is gonna be that. This is gonna cut straight through any armor you have.
Yeah, that subdermal plating on my head didn't do shit.
So you'll just take 9 damage as the wire just like cuts into you. You're still in fighting condition.
Never in my life did I think I'd be ever at a point where I'm having a shootout in a shrimp fish restaurant with a man screaming about shrimp while trying to murder me.
So my turn, right?
He gets a second melee attack.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I was just double checking to make sure that that's the case.
Yeah, I didn't know if leaping across the room counted as a turn or not.
Counts as a move. Yeah, you can go ahead and roll dodge again if you'd like. Your DV is 24.
I think I'll just brace with my cyber arm.
Okay.
Gonna just hope that hardened shielding at least helps a little.
He is going to claw into your cyber arm, and you will take a total of what looks like 8 damage past your armor here. You are pretty close to being seriously wounded to the point that you're going to require hardcore medical attention. K9's already at that point. K9, as a note, I should point out, because of how low your HP is, you are at a -4 to all your actions.
Oh, okay.
All right, Santos. This guy is now going to town with his cyber weapons.
Is he still not evading this turn?
Yes, he is too focused right now. So
Great.
base DV of hitting.
This is going to be hard not to fuck this up, but last time, just pulling out his heavy handgun against him. Who fried their eyes?
Give him a shot. Straight between the eyes. 11's gonna miss, unfortunately.
Absolutely, it was of course going to.
17 will hit though.
Yes!
Go ahead and roll 3d6.
Please. Please.
Very nice, very nice.
Yes!
Puts him down really low. That'll bring us down to Dragon.
Wrong character sheet because I got 2 apparently. There we go. I'll just try a single shot on him.
Okay. Uh, 2 is going to miss, unfortunately, or rather a 10. And I believe that's all you can roll with a single shot.
Yep.
So, Nova Pop, anything else that you're doing?
Signage is now going to light up with an image of his father in chibi form. And it will say,
Are you trying to cringe this man to death, or just make him madder at me?
it'll say, now look, son, just because you have a shrimp in your pants doesn't mean you got to make it your whole identity. Now knock this off right now.
Cybertech.
Any mods?
No. Unfortunate.
And they can't all be home.
He doesn't.
They can't all be
recognize
home runs.
He doesn't recognize his dad in chibi form. This doesn't make any sense.
Can't all be home runs, folks.
All right, Bruce.
Does him being so close to me give me any benefit to trying to shoot him or make it easier?
Actually, well, for a pistol, yes, and for a shotgun, yes. Point blank shotgun range gives you a much easier DV to shoot him. That being said, he is now not as distracted, so he'll be able to dodge again, but he is at a -4 to that because he is seriously wounded.
Well, I only got one more fire shot, so fuck it, I'll try and stand my ground, just brace and fire.
You hit with a fire shot before, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the damage tick on that? Did
2
you
extra
take
damage
at the every turn, or
every time he ends his turn. The psycho himself. 16. He does manage to dodge out of the way of that one as he kind of like flips over top of you when you shoot at him.
That was my last shell in that. Don't think can I at least disengage while he's fucking back? He's doing his tricks.
No. We're gonna go with no.
All right then. Guess I'll just try and stand my ground. Dot says while reholstering a shotgun.
K9. He's now in melee.
Okay.
With you guys. If you shoot a grenade at him, all of you are getting hit.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Well,
That's what I thought. That's okay. I'm just going to shoot him with my heavy pistol.
Okay.
Nothing really much I can do. Nah,
Ooh,
okay.
Not good. You do have a second shot though. Also not good. All right, he's dodging out of the way of those things as he is going to continue to absolutely go to town on Bruce. Bruce, he is aiming for your head specifically this time. Are you rolling to dodge?
Is it a high thing to clear?
I mean, it's aim shot minus 8.
The aim shot puts him at a -8, so makes it a lot more realistic.
All right, I'm gonna try and evade.
All right, Ty goes to defender.
Just Dawn throwing himself to the fucking side like it's a Dark Souls sprint.
As you duck underneath the whip, so you are not decapitated.
Jesus.
I
knew
he will follow up with a general shot with his claw this time. That's a 25 to hit.
Yeah, I'll just brace for that.
Okay. That'll be another 9 damage to you. You are now also seriously wounded, I'm pretty sure. Because you are less than half HP, he will take 2 more damage from the incendiary rounds, kind of burning holes in his body. He is on his last legs here. Santos.
Let's see if the handgun can get to him. This is the last time I'm gonna use it.
I swear to God, if I see a shot fly at that Roomba.
It will not be used on the Roomba. I should have used it on the Roomba. Fuck.
That is going to be a miss. But
Oh,
you have a
God.
second attack. Feel free. That
No.
is also going to be a miss. Got Stormtrooper aim right now going. Heresy.
We all have Stormtrooper Rave going
Yeah.
on. What the fuck are you talking about? I'll take another shot.
You've hit him plenty of times. It's just you haven't brought him down. He's a tanky bitch.
I missed like 4 shots already.
True.
I'm just saying, I feel like I was sold defective armor-piercing bullets.
And there you go. There's 5.
There's another
Next
miss.
turn.
Okay, fantastic. Nova Pop.
Not
Okay,
my
so-
fault that the game challenged you to balance your stats with 30, 40 different stats and only gives you 60-some points to do it with.
I know.
Okay, Nova Pop will again use kitchen automation to. So now he's kind of like back near the kitchen area, right? Since he kind of went
Yes.
over the counter. Okay, so all right, more of that. Every whole bunch of pots and pans are gonna scoop a bunch of shit from the stove and just dump it on him.
Burning fat poured on him.
All right. Well, actually, he's not in the kitchen anymore. He went to the exit of the kitchen where Bruce and K9 are. So probably wouldn't be as.
Okay, can't get to him there. Okay, can I just from my current locations because I'm outside? Can I just get a shot to him, get to him, and get him in line of sight?
You can run over to a window and kind of like try and angle your way there. It's going to be a difficult shot, but you can try it.
I'll try it.
Okay.
What I gotta do?
You got your heavy pistol. Let's boom. Equip that real quick. And ammo would be basic, so you can go ahead and go into your fight tab on the bottom. Your heavy pistol will be there. There's a little fist that says roll and attack.
All right. Attack.
DV on this is going to be a little higher than usual because you're not in the range, but that's an 18. I would say that's between 7 to 12 yards, yeah. So that will be technically successful. What about his... Well, yeah, he is dodging at this point, I would say. Yeah, because he dodged the shotgun blast.
Question is, would he be aware of Nova's presence at the time because he wasn't engaged?
That's a good question, but
I don't know if you get evasion regardless of that, because I don't really know the rules.
I think you do, but I'm not sure.
I'm not sure on that
Regardless,
either.
his evasion does not manage to go any higher than the DV for the shot, so the 18 will hit. Go ahead and roll 3d6 damage real quick there, Nova. Okay, that unfortunately doesn't get past his armor.
Okay, shot number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Shot number 2 is going to be 14. That is just going to miss, just generally.
Okay. All right.
All right, Bruce, this guy is on you, and he is winding up to try and decapitate you again. What are you doing?
Come on, Bruce.
Oh, Jesus. He's gonna just immediately draw his heavy pistol and unload into his chest again.
Okay. That is going to miss just generally. And a 12 would also just miss generally.
Motherfucker's on top of me. I'm just worthless.
Well, you know, you're kind of like wrestling with him right now. He's like got his claw out, and he's just kind of like wrestling with your arm as you're trying to shoot him. It's like shots are ringing out, but you're not like able to aim at him. Yeah, K9.
Can I try to stuff a grenade inside his mouth?
Sure.
I would like to stuff a sleep grenade inside his mouth.
Okay. That'll go ahead. That we'll call it a brawling check.
Okay.
I'm gonna brawl with a cyber psycho. Let's see how that goes. Okay.
Well,
Not a bad roll. What is what's his roll? No, I got off of his stat sheet. No.
Oh
So
no!
There it is. I should note you are at a -4 because you're seriously injured. So that's a 10, but he also rolls a natural 1.
Oh, so it was -2, so
Oh, -2.
in the
Gotcha,
in the
gotcha,
mod.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's what it did to me too.
So he would have a +2 then. But he also rolled a 1, so... Okay. Well, he glitches on his, so that ends up putting his dodge less than your attack, so you do manage to shove a grenade into his mouth.
Nice. Okay, I shove it in, pull the pin, and yell, "Bruce, don't breathe!"
Okay. The grenade will go off. Let me take a look at it real quick. That is a sleep grenade. ED13. So gas starts spraying out inside of him as well as towards all of you. We're going to increase the difficulty check for him because it is literally in his mouth up to, let's call it a 17 this time instead of 13.
I have to make one too because I'm so close.
I would say so, yeah. You and Bruce would need to make me a DV13 resist torture / drugs roll.
I actually have a pretty good at that.
Yeah, me too. Oh yeah. So that's that.
Okay, well there's that. All right. Well, Bruce will be able to make his, but Kanon, you're knocking yourself out with your own grenade.
Yeah,
this
that's okay.
Let's see. Resist torture.
Not the first time.
Hey, at least you didn't break my arm.
Yeah.
He gets a 22, so he spits that thing out and just kind of eats that sleep poison without a problem.
Wow.
Of course, his lungs had to be
That's
augmented
disappointing.
too.
He will continue to beat on Bruce.
Um,
So that is going to be another attack onto Bruce. He has that, so it's that, -2. Another aim shot for your head, Bruce. Go ahead and roll dodge.
Is that even something that's feasibly passable?
Yeah, absolutely. It's an aim shot. And he has
Alright.
he's also at a -2 for being seriously injured, so.
Alright, I'm gonna try and kick off him to evade.
Easily done. You're able to keep your head on your shoulders, and he'll follow it up with one more regular claw attack at you. Whoops, daisy. Wait, so did it roll that? Yeah. Okay. So then it'd be another dodge roll, I guess, for a 23.
I'll just brace for the attack.
Okay. That's going to be another 6 damage done to you. However, the incendiary ammo is still burning a hole in him, and you see the bullets kind of burning through the rest of his body as he nails you with another claw. Before you see his eyes, which have been glowing red this entire time, as he's glaring at you with his teeth just kind of as he falls to the ground next to you.
You shouldn't have taken that carbon plague booster shots.
Ugh. Is it over? Is he zeroed?
He is zeroed. He is flatlined.
Don's gonna immediately stand up, pull out his handgun, and put a few more in the back of the head.
Yeah, save that for the Ripper Doc. We can get
Okay.
money out for those.
There's definitely a lot of stuff in him, though if you do end up taking him in pieces, then you probably won't get any sort of payment for any sort of wanted bounty on him.
Fine. Don just unloads the clip at his gun and puts a new one in before putting it back into the holster, trying to dust himself off and adjust his vest. Well, that was a disaster, that's all he says.
K9
To
is
be
knocking-
fair,
knocked the fuck out
Yeah,
right now.
K9
And
is
bleeding.
asleep.
And bleeding
Yeah.
badly. So is Bruce.
Don will go over to see if he can help K9 at all.
Yeah, I'm gonna see. I do have some first aid. I do have some first aid ability.
Okay.
Can I do that?
Sure. Let me roll. Let me see what the injuries are here. So that's gonna be injury. No. No. Okay. Okay, so stabilization DV on this is going to be 13. So when you're going over to help them out there, Nova Pop, that is what we're going to be looking for from you in terms of medication. Do you have a med kit or anything on you?
I hope so.
I have. No, I don't. Do I have? No, I don't.
I don't have a med kit.
Well, then you can't.
I have a tech bag. It's for me. It's
Maybe
the same.
Hold on. Let's see.
Would the restaurant have one?
They probably would have an emergency one somewhere.
Yeah, makes sense. Is there one around? Probably in the kitchen. There probably is a first aid kit in the kitchen.
There's probably a first aid kit in the kitchen.
Oh
Just-
man, I blew it up with that fucking straight grenade that didn't hit him before.
Yeah, I'm going to go into the kitchen with the
There's a
angry Roomba, the burning stovetop, and the bleeding shelves.
It is a mess in there. The ovens are on fire. Like if if this place wasn't a hazard before, it certainly is now.
19.
No, well, would you pull the fire alarm then? Yeah, because there's now actually a fire under.
Turn on the sprinklers.
Yeah,
the
those.
alarm's still blaring for all of you guys. It never got turned off.
I'll turn that off, man. That's fine.
A 19 will stabilize. K9. I'll need a separate roll for Bruce. Okay. Thanks to Nova Pop's ability with a first aid kit, the both of you are not currently bleeding out. Though you are still hurt, it's still a pain in the ass. You're a little woozy. You're not feeling good. K9, it only takes you like a minute or so to wake up. The sleep grenade does not take you out for terribly long.
He notices a few pairs of pissed eyes at him.
But you have managed to take down this particular cyber psycho, Mr. Jonathan Crinkle. He is a wanted man. That is something that can be potentially turned in. A lot of damage was done to the restaurant, but hopefully whatever passes for insurance these days will handle that.
Officer Santos, you want to call that in?
I'm
gonna call the commissioner.
Does insurance even cover cyber psycho attacks?
Oh, they
Probably.
have to.
At this particular point, yes, there's been enough cyber psycho incidents where it's actually a part of insurance now.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Oh man, Trauma Team International meet carpentry goods.
So yes, Santos, you immediately call in to the nearest station to let them know that there is a perp to be whose body can be bagged and tagged at this particular point. Reporting in the cyber psycho incident that occurred in the cafe over in Wellsprings has moved itself down to downtown, and you guys are have secured the body, have secured the perpetrator, more or less. So the police will be coming down with a meat wagon, more or less, for you guys, mostly to bring in the dead body of the cyber psycho.
While this is happening, Don's just going to get on his agent and call Ryder.
as you call Ryder, and after a moment he picks up, and you kind of like hear the sort of turned down classical music he tends to listen to as he says, "Yes, sir. What can I do for you?"
Hey, Ryder, I need you to pick me up. I'm gonna flick you my location. Me and one of my cohorts. We need a trip to a river dock. You know any good ones?
I don't, but I'm fairly certain Julian does.
Oh, that's great. All right, I'm gonna flick you our location.
Very good.
Thanks again. I'll hang up on that note.
All right. Well, you guys have some time to just sit outside and take a breather, having had a rather lethal fight with a cyber psycho, and now understanding the potential dangers of engaging with even a singular person who has a lot of sort of cyberware attached to them and very little desire to continue maintaining their own life. And as the meat wagon is on its way, as Ryder is on its way, the five of you are just kind of outside, ready to receive them and turn in a body. A cyber psycho lost to time and lost to purpose. Why he was so obsessed with shrimp is something for somebody else to figure out. And that is where we're going to go ahead and end the session for today.
Meanwhile, Nova Pop has just grabbed somebody's takeout that they didn't get a chance to eat, and is takes that and is just chowing down and thinking
Lunch
about the
break.
wacky day he had. Thinking about the wacky day he had.
So yeah, before we go ahead and end it, I'm going to go ahead and go through, have everybody give themselves a nice little affirmation, please. Starting at the top to the bottom, let's start off with Heresy.
I generally don't think I have anything off the top of my head.
Okay. Fair enough.
I mean, there's sense I just don't remember.
Homie.
I enjoyed a lot of that, the planning, and there's something funny seeing a nomad and a corpo fighting a cyber psycho side by side like that. Just both of them getting laid the fuck out nearly, but still surviving. The interactions roll around pretty great to me, especially that one scene where K9 just picks up an arm, literally doesn't react when a gun's put in his face.
K9 obviously has problems.
Santos just saying fuck that Roomba in particular, even though it's on our side.
Yeah. To be fair, like if it exploded, that should have been like 2 or 3d6. That was additional damage.
The only one who could have made it explode was Nova, I want to say.
Maybe, but like, it's, like you gotta understand, it's like you ever see those action movies where they kind of make fun of the idea that like shooting a gas tank will cause a car to explode, and then someone will like shoot a gas tank and then nothing happens, and then people are like, that's not how that fucking works. In a similar sense, the most that you'd be doing is lodging a bullet into some sort of like necessary system for the Roomba, and it'd probably just end up shutting down. So probably wouldn't cause it to explode.
I imagine the Roombas would be something akin to like the Fallout universe robots.
Mr. Handy.
Yeah, something like that.
Santana.
Yeah, definitely us constantly failing to hit the Cyber Psycho.
I'm just glad I landed one of my 4 shells at him.
To be fair, some of those misses were because cyber psychos have insane levels of evasion, so there's that.
Yes. When in doubt, reload. That handgun isn't gonna serve any purpose.
Handguns are pretty reliable. I mean, you can use them for a pretty long time without having to reload. You can shoot twice around. It's just that, they just don't do the damage of the heavier weapons, is all.
I still feel like I got sold faulty armor-piercing bullets. They didn't pierce shit.
They did. That's the only reason you did damage to them.
I mean, I only did 2 damage at average or something.
All my damage came from the fire.
Thorium.
K9's a weird antagonism toward toward our solo was kind of
Yeah, that was a little random.
random. Yeah, that is, so that was so that stuck out. So essentially, it's a very combat. I mean, it's a pretty combat heavy game that we had here. I think everybody did very well. I think we all, especially for first going
Our first fight was a cyber psycho.
Well, I mean, and we had 3 preems in a row, and then we didn't get within an ass's roar of that kind of luck again for the rest of the fight. But we handled it. We got it done.
Yeah, he didn't seem to like me or K9.
Well, you're the guys who opened up on him, so.
True. Well, no, we opened about ourselves, technically.
You're the first one who did any damage to him.
Yep.
Young.
Santos remains unhurt. His image remains perfect.
Young.
Oh yeah, the battle.
Yeah, I would say Nova's kind of participating in that fight. Very creative.
I'm out of kitchen shit to use and runs around the building with a gun.
Yeah. He's not in the kitchen anymore. Damn. I can do other stuff though. Gun.
Literally, just
Bum.
deals
Well,
a
at that point, it's
sliding
like-
shot.
He's on his last leg. It's just kind of like a Hail Mary pass. That is not what Nova Pop is hanging his hat on.
No, not with that basic ass ammo, basic ass pistol. It's very difficult to do damage to somebody that armored up with basic weaponry. All right, well that has
Knew
been
what I should have
today's
bought.
session. 1 cyber psycho down, 2 people injured, and probably going to require like several days in the hospital to be brought back up to full. But so far, it seems like the group at least can theoretically work together. That was the goal. That was the goal, to confirm that.
Yeah, only 3 of them have drawn guns on each other at this point.
Yeah. I knew I
will,
should have brought that flamethrower.
I will do 2 things real quick. Next session, we will pick up with K9 and Bruce probably being tended to by a Ripper Doc, and the body of the Cyber Psycho will net you guys a total of 3,000 Nuyen that you can split amongst yourselves, but probably I'd say 1,000 of that's going to go towards the Ripper Doc tending to your friends. So.
Also, how does progression work in this game?
So, with the
So we all get like $400.
right now, well, I guess it depends on how you guys end up wanting to split it.
We'll figure it out in the meantime.
So in this game, you get improvement points, as opposed to experience points, and you use those on whatever skills you want to work on. And each skill, the higher your rank is, the more improvement points it costs to raise it, essentially. Improvement points. I just want to make sure I get this correct. Alright, as you gain more improvement points, you record these points in the improvement area.
Mhm.
Let's see. So, if you have a skill that you would like to improve using improvement points, it's 20 points for every level you have in that skill, plus another. So let's say you have a skill at 0, and you want to put it up to 1. You want to give it one trained rank. That's 20 improvement points. You want to put it to 2. That's 40, and so on and so forth. So if you want to rank up to 10, that's 200 improvement points. If it's a difficult skill like martial arts or heavy weapons, anything that has a ×2 next to it, then that costs double. A roll ability rank improvement costs 60 per rank, and all of you start off at 4. So to get to 5, you'll need 300.
What's that, or what is that?
So your particular role, for instance, is the interface role, your role ability, more or less.
Okay. Roll is ROLE. Okay, got it.
That also works for when you're multi-classing as well. If you want to get a new role, then that costs a base 60 for rank 1 in that role.
Okay.
So, the way that this particularly works right now, there's a lot of different ways to give out improvement points. Right now, since this was a group thing, we're going to call it a success. Accomplish most initial goals extremely well, with a few stellar moments. We're going to call this a general success with a few stellar moments, with the mission goals met extremely well. Since you did manage to take down the Cyber Psycho, nobody died, and there were some interesting bits and pieces in terms of making sure that everybody got out. There were no unintended civilian casualties or anything along those lines. So we're going to give each of you 50 improvement points.
Damn.
For completing this particular mission. So, like I said, these can be placed into your skill improvements, your difficult skill improvements, or getting another role rank. 20.
A new roll rank or a new roll at like 1 or something, right?
Yes.
If you can you start buying from the bottom up. Okay.
Correct.
Gotcha.
So with 50, let's say you got 50 right now, so you'd be able to spend I don't know, 20 of that getting a rank of a skill up to 1, or 40 to 2, or you can get a difficult rank in something you don't have any ranks in to 1. And that'll be about how it is. If you want more of an understanding on the cost of these, that is on page 411 in the core rulebook.
Yeah.
So it's like for each ×2, it's 40 per point.
Correct.
Yikes.
That goes up. So if you, for instance, already have rank 2 of something and you want to get it to 3 as a regular skill, then that's 60 points that you need to spend to get it to 3. You understand? So it's not like 20 per, it's 20 plus.
Yeah, 20 for each
20,
rank.
then 40, then
20,
60, then
20,
80.
60,
Okay.
80, 100, yeah.
So I need 80 to up handguns to 4.
Correct. You don't have to spend these when you get them immediately. You can
Bank 'em.
build them up as much as you like if you want to spend them on other shit in the future.
Okay. I'll do a little reading then, I guess, in the meantime.
So bear in mind you have 50 improvement points. Place that wherever you need to make sure that you're reminded of that. You can modify your improvement points on your character sheet by hitting the modify improvement points button next to improvement, next to the 0. And just kind of modify by, and then 50 action add, reasons optional, but
And so if I wanted to go Netrunner interface from 4 to 5, it would be 100, right?
Netrunner interface, the roll
Yeah.
ability, that costs 60 per. So from 4
Oh,
to 5,
60.
From 4 to 5, it's 300.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, I'll just save them for now.
Also,
Cool.
I should be making
Yeah,
a
me
little
too.
Yeah, I'm not
interfaces.
gonna. I got a lot of reading to do. See what
There's
I
a
got.
lot of points in this I should have had you roll interface as opposed to like other checks, but I wasn't thinking. Or at least adding your interface on top of the checks. I'm pretty sure that's what I was doing anyway with the cyber deck rolls, but I was not thinking all that well.
Yeah, we're all learning. Fine.
Okay. Well, that has been game today, everybody. Thank you guys for coming and watching and all those sorts of things. Much appreciated. Stay safe, don't die. Remember, the world's a better place with you in it.